Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Sound Candid Talk Live News.
Well, good evening once more. Looks like you guys are stuck with me for good. Welcome to the show. My name is Douglas. Welcome to Sound Candid Talk, Open Forum Political Show. It's another good evening here in Nairobi. Actually, it's good morning, 12:54 a.m. East African time. Bernard is still unwell, is not in capacity to host the show. Shadizo is not also feeling okay, but he's sitting somewhere across from me in the studio, and he'll be joining the conversation as we move on. But I'm inviting you to like this video, subscribe, and share as usual as we begin to break down the topics of the day. My name is Douglas, and welcome to the show. Before I begin, I'm going to share out the link even before I let you in on what I have prepared for you tonight for the discussion, the show. I'm going to be sharing out the link. Invite your friends over, your colleagues, share out the video, share out the link, click the link if you want to be part of the conversation. Let's stream and configure your mic and camera, and you're going to find yourself in this amazing studio so that we may have the conversation together. Okay, so now Ruto is continuing his tour of the coastal region soon after coming back from Addis Ababa. That began on Sunday. On Sunday, it was at State House, Mombasa. Then yesterday, he made a tour, short tour of Mombasa County, that is Likoni. And today, Tuesday, he has toured Kwale County, that is South Rift, beginning from Lunga all the way to Diani, and it's going to be in the coast for the rest of the week. We just want to take stock of what has transpired during the day, during the visit, and how that affects the politics. Is this about development, or is this about politics? Just the usual theatrics, political theatrics. I don't know. What do you think? I'm inviting you to the conversation. Engage with me in the comment section. We are live on Sound Candid Talk Live on YouTube, Sound Candid Talk backup channel now, and on Facebook, Sound Candid Talk Live. Engage with me in the comments. I'm going to be reading out some of your comments. Come into the studio and let's have a conversation together with you guys. So, in a different story that I have, Raila has come back to local politics after losing his AUC bid. We had this conversation yesterday with those of you who were here last night. And as usual, Raila makes one move in politics and it unsettles everything. So the conversation is continuing to build up. Today he went back to his to what we call bedroom in Kisumu, and he met Anyang'o, and he's continuing to tell his supporters that he is consulting far and widely. Just sending jitters and letting people do the guesswork. But we expect that he's going to declare his political move sometime next week. At least that is what he's told us so far. So we are going to be waiting to see how that pans out. But in the meantime, we are going to be having conversations around this to see, just to speculate, actually, how this will change the political landscape in our country and how this is going to affect our lives as Kenyans. In other news, the battle at the Supreme Court continues. There's battles to ouster Supreme Court judges. Some people in some quarters claim that it's politically motivated, and it's Ruto trying to get rid of Martha Koome and install his own quote-unquote puppet. Some people say that this has nothing to do with politics, because the person pushing for the ouster is Nelson Harvey, is a lawyer, former LSK president. So I don't know what you think. I'm inviting you into the conversation. That also forms my poll question tonight. Do you think the ongoing ouster battle of Supreme Court judges will impact judicial independence? Do you think the ongoing ouster battle of Supreme Court judges will impact judicial independence? 40% of those who voted so far agree. Actually, not 40, that has changed. This browser should refresh it. But 57% say yes. 43% of you say no. It's not going to impact judicial independence. But I just want to know, how will this affect judicial independence long term? But first I want to know what you think. Is this politically motivated, or, is this a purely constitutional process as provided for by the Constitution? Because Martha Koome is no saint. She's been accused of corruption at the judiciary. The judiciary has been accused of corruption. Actually, there's a term that those in legal spheres use. They call it jurispesa, which is technically just the commodity that is being used to sway decisions, or rather judgments, at the judiciary. I want to hear from you what you think about this conversation. I want to have conversations with you. Engage with me in the comments. Come into the studio and let's have a conversation around this. So as I begin, I'm going to play some bites just to bring you up to speed with what I'm ranting about here, as I wait for you people to come in. Sent out the link for StreamYard. Click the link and join in as a guest, as a panelist, and I will add you onto the stage and have this conversation with me. Welcome.
President William Ruto has once again defended the newfound friendship with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. The head of state says their unity is meant to unite the country, telling his critics to shun tribal politics. Speaking in Kwale County, the president also defended some of his unpopular initiatives, asking Kenyans to register for the Social Health Authority. And as Francis Mtalaki reports, the president has also put on notice land grabbers in the region.
A day after meeting former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in Mombasa, where the two hinted at the formalization of broad-based arrangement, President Ruto, in his tour of the coast region, defended the newfound friendship with Odinga, telling his critics to shun tribal politics.
Kwa hivyo ndio unaona rais ameshikanisha taifa nzima, hata aliyekuwa mpinzani wake mkuu Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga sasa ni rafiki yake, wanafanya kazi pamoja ya kuunganisha Wakenya, kwa sababu siasa ilikwisha, sasa ni mambo ya kujenga taifa letu la Kenya.
Kuna watu wana manunguniko, wale Mheshimiwa Rais ni watu wenye wivu, na mwingine aliimba akasema mwenye wivu ajinyonge. lakini hawajinyongi siku hizi, wanakuja na fitina na umbea na kukodoa.
Ndio sasa wameleta siasa ya ukabila, na Mheshimiwa Rais amesema tunakemea siasa ya ukabila. Ikemewe sikemewe.
Hakuna tena siasa ya kubagua Wakenya wengine, siasa ya kuweka Wakenya wengine kando. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie watu wa Kwale ya kwamba hamutatengwa tena, hamutaachwa nyuma tena, hamutabaguliwa tena, kwa sababu tunataka tuhakikishe ya kwamba tunatembea pamoja.
Speaking in Kwale County while commissioning development projects in Lunga Lunga, Matuga and Msambweni constituencies, President Ruto sought to justify his administration's unpopular programs, asking Kenyans to register for the Social Health Authority. Health CS Deborah Barasa maintains SHA is working despite the hiccups witnessed and private hospitals suspending services countrywide.
Madirekta wa Msambweni na mahospitali mengine nikauliza SHA inafanya kazi, wakasema inafanya, na hospitali yao pia inalipwa.
Tumeungana kuhakikisha ya kwamba matibabu yanaanza kijijini. Muuguzi wa kwanza pale kijijini ni CHP.
President Ruto has put on notice land grabbers in the region, saying the government is set to settle all squatters and address the ever-elusive land question in the coast region.
Hatuwezi kukubali watu wafamie mashamba ya watu wengine. Hakuna mtu anaruhusiwa ati kwenda kuvamia shamba ya mtu ati kwa ndio serikali iweze kumlipia hiyo ardhi.
On Wednesday, President Ruto is expected to tour Kilifi County. Francis Mtulaki, Citizen TV, Kwale County.
Well, welcome back. There you have it. That went down today, like I've told you. That was Ruto touring coast. And with me in studio right now, I have Mama Selina. Mama Selina.
Naalika mama ya show, alafu tena isemekane show imekuwa ya Mama Selina. Let people come and we talk.
People are not coming into the show. Kazi ni complain.
Anyway, wata complain hivyo mpaka 2027.
Na waendelee mpaka 32.
Mpaka 32. Otherwise, naona mambo ya Supreme Court. Ama mambo ya churches. Naona uliweka hapo. Unajua kama watu wangefanya hot air alifanya makosa. Unajua kama umeingia ndani itakuwa ni ngumu sana akuwe independent. She started in the wrong side and she cannot pull out now. Na chenye amejaribu kufanya sasa ni kulalamika. But hata yeye mwenyewe anajua alifanya makosa. So I don't want to dwell with that kwa sababu sheria itamkuta. Vile tunasema hakuna mtu ako above the law. Kama anajua she was right, angefanya kazi mzuri, Wakenya wangemtetea. So now anakuwa celebrated vile Chebukati ameenda. It is a wake up call for those people who are coming behind. Ya kwamba Wakenya, unajua Douglas, kitu mzuri ni freedom of speech yenye tumepata sasa kwa katiba yetu. Kwa sababu zamani hata kama ungeona mambo ungeongea, lakini at least we have that space ya kwamba unaongea pora ni mambo iko sense. Ingine siasa ni siasa. Sasa naona my party nilikuwa na Kenya. Na nimeona kumbe nafikiri inaitwa LPL or PLP or whatever the name.
People Liberation Party.
Yes, na nasikia ni ya Wamunyoro. Sasa sijui wanafanya aje na my party. My former party. So I'm waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow is 27.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see the launching of the party. Nione kama sisi bado tuko the way it was, ama Wamunyoro amechukua party na wamefanya partnership. It's okay. Itategemea. Chama is coming and work out.
Party sio umesema party wana rebrand ndio waweze kucapture.
I knew it was to rebrand, but Wamunyoro ana party inasemekana yeye anaingia ndani.
Oh.
But hiyo ni rumors. We want to see tomorrow.
That is Thursday. Yes,
yeah,
it's
on
happening
Thursday,
on
I think
Thursday.
so. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is what I can say. Naona baba alikuwa Kisumu.
Ameenda kuchukua chama.
Yes, ameenda kukaribishwa. Nyang'nyong, by the way, ODM walikuwa wamesema vizuri. Nyang'nyong was the acting party leader mpaka baba aenda Addis Ababa, and then if he win, wangekuja kuconfirm Nyang'nyong. But now walikuwa nashikilia kwa sababu ya protocol. Ungeenda Addis Ababa when you have an interest in a political party. So amerudi pale, amechukua party yake, yes. Amekutana na all leaders ya Nyanza na akarudi. Nikwambia jana na leo akakuwa na youth kwa all. Hivyo ndio tulikuwa tunaongea jana nikikwambia vile mambo inaenda. So amesema anaendelea kuconsult na tunajua Saturday watakuwa Busia. Now, a very interesting thing kwa sababu siasa. Today Kashakwa anasema is ready to work with Raila. Anamwambia watu ya Nyanza, they are not their enemies. Enemy yao ni Ruto. Kachakwa ndiye wakati alikuwa na hiyo machina yote na alikuwa ameweka rungu kubwa sana State House. Akitaka hiyo msee akitendawili asiingie. So now people are asking question ya kwamba ni nini wameona na urafiki yao wakati ya Kenyatta the father, wakati ya Kibaki na wakati ya Uhuru. They have never fulfilled their promise. Ni warafiki wanakutaka kwa sababu kuna kitu wanataka. Wakati 202 Raila alisema Kibaki tosha. What happened in 207? Kibaki aliapishwa usiku na wakamutoa. Wakati alikuja kufanya handshake na Uhuru, na Uhuru akasema anamsupport, of which hata we are not 100% the support he had, kwa sababu nilikwambia ile team yake ITs na intelligent report kama Ruto sahi akiwa president of Republic of Kenya, vile Kachakwa anatuambia siri alikuwa anapata akiwa kwa serikali. Uhuru Kenyatta before walifanya election, ama Chebukati akitoka out of the room, akiondoka, intelligent report ingekuwa imesema there is something cooking on. So kuita mtu kufanya kazi na yeye because of your interest. Na ametuambia ukweli, Raila Ruto aliipa kura na tulijua waliipa. Na swali langu ni hili, wakati kura iliipiwa na yeye akakubali kukua deputy president, angekuwa genuine Kenya, angekuwa Mkenya halisi, angesema no, I'm not participating, my wife is a pastor, hii kura si yako. Lakini alikubali na akatusiana na akaamuka mapema kuchunga hiyo serikali ilikuwa imeipa kura. So now today anasema he has nothing to lose. But anataka, okay, walisema Raila ameisha. Before Raila akienda Addis Ababa kulikuwa na maneno mingi sana. Wakati alianza kuingia inaitwa nini? Hii government ya maungano, wherever, the friends. Come we
Bread
stay.
base.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that one is a come we stay. Because that
Bread
one is
base.
not an official. Breastfed,
Yeah.
yes. So wakati alijaribu kufanya hivyo, the shouting was too much. Na wakasema ODM imeisha. And everybody was celebrating. Now, mambo baba amerudi. Kila mtu ameingia chini ya mesa. Wanajaribu kusema vile baba ni mzuri, vile baba ako. It's an old man, anajua hiyo uongo yote. Raila yes, na Ruto akisema nao, baba nimeenda 5 years. It is your time because Ruto pia bado ni mdogo. So he can change the tune and say, okay, baba, chukua kiti. I will support you. Hiyo ni mambo itasemwa. Ama wafanye vile wanasema the prime ministership, deputy prime minister na waendelee. Kwa sahi baba anajaribu kukonsole constituency yake, chama yake. Anataka kumake sure awezi wacha chama yake out of any other government. Na hii watu kwa sababu wamepanic immediately. Hata baba ataongea, hata atasema kitu, mumeanza kusema tunafanya kazi na Raila. Kalonzo Jeremia Kioni anasema baba kucha. Like now you are showing Raila, yes, you are a strong man. We cannot do without you.
Really?
And because they are fighting Ruto, you know what nikwambie, you are open and you need to show musimamo. We still have 2.5 years to go. Na kama unasema, kama Kalonzo unasema, Raila ameingia serikali, you want to be leader of opposition. Wangekuwa na hiyo msimamo wa Munyoro wa aendelee kukonsole. Mpaka Raila hata yeye atingisika aone, if I cannot change these people, naonekana nitaanguka. But you know, very early, ametoka Addis Ababa, hata 1 month, wiki moja ijaisha, mumeanza kusema, Raila kuja, tutakupa. Hiyo hata mtu mwenye ana akili, he cannot agree to that. Work first. Wacha baba arudi kwanza, aongee na chama yake, watu yake wamwambie what they want. Na kwa sababu wanauoga, Raila ameonyesha, unajua afichi anasema kiti ya OAU ilikuwa ya Kenya. So the government of Kenya kusaidia yeye ama kufanya yale walifanya. It is not in favor of Raila. It was because the candidate was a Kenyan candidate. Sasa hiyo ya alafu kama serikali ili sponsor Kenyan candidate. Na kama Ruto alienda out of pocket, alifanya kama rafiki, vile marafiki ya Raila walifanya nini? Walifanya. But now, Wamunyoro was doing good kudestroy na kusaidiwa kuongea na kusema yale yote. Wakenya ni watu ya kusahau. Unaweza sema yote, unajua sasa anapatia Ruto nguvu kuweza kujaribu kufanya kazi. Hiyo yote ni mbali for 2 years. Ile mambo ulisema 2 years ago, tutakuwa tunakumbuka, na vile Wakenya ni rahisi sana kusahau. You know what you say today, sema hiyo mambo kama tumepakisha 4 months ama 6 months to election. Ukimaliza hayo mambo yote umesema sahi, what will you say in 2026? Anyway, hiyo ni yao, uwezi sema, but for me, I think baba, batu anaitwa baba, is a strong man. Kama hata Gachagua mwenye alikuwa na rungu kubwa sana ya kupiga kama panya, anasema kuja tufanye kazi. Anasema baba hata akiniita, I will go there. I'm even laughing with the people that walikuwa naongea kuhusu Wamunyoro wakiona ako strong.
Lakini si unaona hakuna mtu anaguza mlima.
wako na acha na Mrima. Unataka kufanyia nini Mrima? You know one thing, watu wamechua Mrima. It is not the first time. Kura ya Mlima unajua when it is really election time. You cannot waste your time uende upoteze wakati kwa Mrima, especially mtu kama baba ama mtu ingine yenye si Mount Kenya. Gachagua amesema vizuri, chenye anaweza fanya ni asimame wakose 50+1 and then we have a runoff. But kusema kukusa Mrima, hakuna mtu anataka Mrima afanyie nini. Wacha watu waungane kwanza, watu wenye wajai kuwa rais, let them try to know what is happening. And then the last minute they will come to Mrima if they need, if need be. Unaona hiyo? But
Yes, yes.
Naona Shatiso amekuja, sitaki kukua mama ya kuongea sana. Najua lakini tunaongea kulingana na vile tunaona mambo. Hata ukisikia mimi nikiongea siwezi kuja kusema mambo yangu. Na kwa nimesikiza Gachagua, na kwa nimesikia Wakenya wanasema nini. Kuna bloggers wengi sana. So kabla hujakuja kuongea hapa, unasikia hiyo mambo yote vile Kenya inaenda, vile imeamuka, vile imelala. So you have an idea what is going on in Kenya. So wherever we are talking today, ni yale tumeona. Kama hiyo ya Nyanza, tuliona na baba alikuwa na ameongea. Hiyo ya Gachagua, tumeona hiyo ya Kome, hiyo ya party yangu, hiyo na Kenya. I don't know, after 27 I will also say where will I be? Because ikipatilishwa chama na watu wameingia kwa Munyoro, I'm not invited there, and I will not invite myself to that group. So I will be an orphan. Now I will start looking like, where do I go? Because I don't also belong to ODM. I've never been in ODM. Even when the Kalenjins were in ODM, nilikuwa na Martha Karua kwa na Kenya, I was in PNU na Martha Karua. So kama ametoa chama na pongeza yeye, lakini kama ni chama yenye wa Munyora atakuwa ndani, officially Mama Selina, I will resign from that party. Nitakuwa nimeenda na Kenya, hiyo imekufa, imepadilishwa, and I leave the party to the new owners. Yeah. So that is what I can say. But Kenya, politics batu, Saturday batu, wacha tungoje. Na majority ya watu wataongea na baba. I will not be in UDA because even Ruto cannot be in UDA. You are lying to yourself. Mwenye anasema Mama Selina ni UDA ama ataingia UDA, UDA inaenda na Gachagua na kuna chama itakuja. Na ikiwa ni lazima niingie chama for the first time ya Rift Valley ama chama ya Ruto, I will not shy to be there. My name is Chepkemboi. I have Selina. I have that Kalenjin name. So there is no, kama kila mtu ameenda kucheza kwa mlango yao, why not me? You know, people are really funny. Unataka wa Munyoro wafungie kwa kikapu. And then you don't think even us, we want, Ruto has to put us in the kikapu too. If you know people are not genuine, what is the problem for me? Nikiwa mahali inastahili. Kwani mimi ni Kenya ninakuwa Mkenya aje? I have been outside my party. Wakati niliresign kwa KANU, nikajoin na Kenya. So I have been in 2 political parties. Now na Kenya kwa sababu ina change China. Hata mimi nitaangalia who are our new people. If Martha Karua will be the party leader, yes, alafu chama yetu labda tuambiwe tunaweza enda kutana na wa Munyoro in future ama na group yenye, that one I have no problem. I can still be in my party because hata wakati Martha Karua alienda kufanya kazi na ODM na Azimio tukiwa na Kenya, we believe in it and we go and we move with her. So mtu asidictate and na mtu asione Mama Selina si lazima asikue UDA ama asikue na Ruto.
Okay.
By the way, for the information, I'm not supporting Ruto ati ninashika huko mkia. If today I'm in Kenya, if I was in Kenya today, Ruto ni mtu tumefanya naye kazi. When I was a woman leader of KANU, Ruto alikuwa our executive director of election. So it is somebody I know him. Si ati ninaenda kufuata tu kwa sababu ni rais. It's a person I really know him. So people wasichukue mambo. Tumekuwa na msimamo mkali kwa sababu tulipenda Kenya and because I was not in that party. But I don't want people to think like sahi watu kila mtu anachunga poma yao, I will be a stupid person to come and cast my own. Vile mumeona Kashakwa ni your own, Ruto is our own too. Kwani yeye ametoka kwa miti? You want to tell me now the Kalenjins?
Okay, I want to bring in Shadizo pia to mkue.
One minute, I want to finish this and I give Shadizo. Because if I told you yesterday, I don't have to be here. We have Kass FM. There's a lot of other things we can do. But I came here because I came here because the views we say atujakuwa na ukabila, atutusiani, hata sahi nikiongea, I'm saying what I hear, what people say. Nikiongea mambo ya Munyoro, ni ila anasema. Yeah, siwezi kuja kumwekea vitu yenye hajasema na mdomo yake. But kuna watu wengine hawataki tuongee yale anasema. So, siwezi wachana na Wamunyoro. Mpaka wakati Wamunyoro atawacha kuongea kuhusu watu. Yes, kama yeye atakuwa amejua siku yenye Wamunyoro atawacha kutuambia story ya Ruto, ndiye tutawacha kuongea kuhusu Wamunyoro. Kwani yeye alisaliwa na nini? Hakusaliwa vile wanawake tulisaa watoto. Hey, style up. Kama Wamunyoro anatusi Ruto, hata mimi sasa niko hapo, lakini mimi siwezi tusiana kwa hii channel. I will only say what Wamunyoro is saying. Siwezi kuja kuharibu channel ya Penat na matusi. Kama ninasikia nataka kutusiana, siwezi ingia kwa channel. Na siwezi ingia ile channel zingine za tribal ile wanacheka. We come here tuongelesha wa Kenya. Na bado, white space. Baba ametuambia aje? White space. Tunangoja hiyo space sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Selina, for that. Just a reminder for you to like this video and share it out and subscribe to the channel. We are live on Sound Candy Talk Live on YouTube. We are also live on Facebook. Sound Candy Talk is our Facebook channel. Okay, before I go on, I want to welcome Shadizo. Shadizo, karibu kwenye show.
I appreciate so much.
Unmute.
I just use your mic.
Okay.
If I mute, will make the noises against too.
Okay.
I hope you're getting me good. I still have the problem with my voice and also with my left side.
Hatusikii Shadizo ama akona ausikiki.
Okay, nice. I'll try to be loud a little bit. I've been having a problem with my mouth and also with the other side of the right side of my.
Okay, sorry. You don't force yourself. Wewe sema tu kidogo ile tutasikia kwa sababu tunataka tomorrow ukwe na hiyo sound. Unajua ukilazimisha and then we miss it for 1 week, it is so bad. So don't force it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes. I'll force it, but there's one thing that I would like to contribute to. It doesn't matter that I'm sick, but the patriotic still remains. Some of the things we do not because we love doing or not because we don't have anything to do, like Mama Selina said, but we do it because of the patriotic we have inside our hearts. We do it because we want to see our nation, Kenya, goes to another state, go to another level, whereby For tonight, I'll first appreciate the team Sound Candy Talk for coming through every day, coming every moment, so that we can have this conversation every time that we come on board. And as today, I would like we check. Okay, we'll look at another perspective whereby we'll check different analogy, but the same direction where that we will be checking what's it and what's not happening, what's happening. One of the things that I would like with our nation is we know some people are beginning to open their brains, which is something that was not there for some time. But right now, I think there are many people are beginning to realize what they are up of or what the game is of. And because of people realizing the game, because of the people realizing how to handle the game, they have taken a new approach whereby somebody is not being just somebody waking up and speaking out. People who speak up, people that will control Kenyans like the way we used to control them back then. But right now, I can say the first phenomenon of the politics right now it's taking another dimension, whereby somebody has said today on TikTok, this is the first time seeing in a country somebody is dead, but people are happy. This is the nation whereby people celebrate somebody's dead. So it's not like okay, it's to bring a different analogy.
I have so much to say, but let me just let you finish.
This is the country whereby people are happy to see somebody dead. Okay, it's not that we are happy because somebody's dead, but we are looking all about what's not happening or what's happening to our nation. Kenya, they decided to stand for their nation. Okay, we are hearing that now the allegation is that people raising up saying that Baba is coming back. Baba is now taking Baba is now moving around, taking the next technology. But when you're quoting, I will quote the clear words from the Raila Odinga. He said that he will not work with a tribe or will not work to the limitation or will not listen to somebody that's saying that we are the majority. He's saying so that he will move around, work with everyone to make sure we bring Kenya to a better place. I didn't hear him saying that I will work with Ruto. He said that he will work with every Kenyan, every places, every leader to make sure that Kenya goes to another level. Whereby he decided to make that we are breaking about the patriotic, we are breaking about the tribalism, taking it to another nation to another place. Whereby this time of the tribalism, it's been a paramount. Whereby some people feel like we're being blended out and being bring in. And see, it's more fun and it's more something that people bring it to another level. Let us check about the maternity issues. Whether people are saying that now they were lawyers, they have the matanga. They don't want other people to come for their matanga. You see, saying that kind of things that they are something that's not useless. But we try to get and we try to bring them to this path. So, me, what I would like to add is, or what would like to contribute to debate is, or what would like people to contribute is, like, it's the unity how to take care of another level. How do we fix our nation? How do we bring our nation to another way that will be able to everyone to get to agree and will be able to take Kenya to another level? Not the level that we have been there for so many times. People thinking about themselves, okay, we still think about themselves. People still seeing that we put ourselves priority first. But it's time that we stop putting our priority first, but putting out our priority out to our nation like the way other Gen Zs and other people does. But if we still put the priority like Lani alisema, Lani sijui akatusiana, Lani sijui akanini, no. You see, it's so stupid. They have posted something whereby some people are speaking a lot of it. I set a caption today and nikasema kwamba it was a simple caption and I will just say it on lighter note, whereby thinking that competing or arguing with somebody who is right will change your bad behavior. It won't change. Ukidhania kubishana na mtu ambaye ako sahihi itafuta uovu wako, uongo. Hakuna siku itafuta uovu wako. Kwa sababu ukweli siku wote utadhihirika.
Meaning, now you're confusing us.
Okay.
Goodness.
Let me bring it down. The caption was all about the way that people argue. Unasikia amesema kuna mtu anatusiana, like unakuta just kutusiana. So most of them when you check out mtu anatusiana because he's trying to run away from them. Thinking that by arguing with the person that is true, you will delete all the bad things or the bad character. Yes. Which is not there. The truth always will stand out. The justice will always stand out. Whether we can hide it, whether we can do everything to cover it, but the truth is one day it will reveal it out. So it doesn't matter somebody anatusiana, watch atusiana. But at the end of the day, the truth will still stand. The end of the day, you ukweli, hata matusi yake kutusi to make sure like kutusi mwana anasema ukweli will never cover that kwamba yeye ni mbaya. So it's like, again, before you speak out, before you begin laying allegations, before you begin throwing out words, be sure. Like the way Mama Selina say, hii maneno anasema iko na haki. Hii maneno anatusiana inajenga kitu kweli. That's the problem with the people that do the politics. Feeling like Uganda Kutusi Douglas, now I'm bringing up the politics.
Politics is very funny. Jana, there's a row between Kenya Power and Nairobi County. So Nairobi County government wamekasirika Kenya Power nipi madeni. Wakienda kutupa takataka kwa ofisi za Kenya Power. What do you think about that?
Number one, I can say that is the serious thing that I've ever seen. Okay, I'm not saying on a bad note, but the truth is, if such a like two important organizations that everyone looks upon to, they argue until they begin to show their expression on public. What do you think Kenyans think? What do you think outside the world think? Because this is serious. If okay, yesterday I saw the scenario because I was online a little bit. Spy was in hospital. I saw it whereby the Kenyan Kanjo walikuja na takataka and they piled at the entrance of KPL Plaza. And when you see ukiona vile ule mtu alikuwa na record, the woman from there was complaining. Watu hafanya hivyo tutakata stima yao yote. Unaona? Yes. Meaning these are two organizations, but because of poor leadership, because of poor coordination of the leadership, now wanaanza kuleta the actions. Unaona? Which they are not good actions, but the friends of the people. Okay, let me ask you like a simple question. If the organizations wana collide hivyo na wanashindwa kulipana wenyewe kwa wenyewe, how sure are you watalipa wafanya kazi?
Wacha niwaulize nani analipa nani, kwa sababu nilikuwa nafikiria Kanjo wako na deni ya Kenya Power. So Kenya
Okay,
Power, tunachukua power kutoka Kenya Power, yes. So ni Kanso, Kenya Power wanadai Kanso. So Kanso wanaweza dai Kenya Power aje?
Kenya Power ina supply Nairobi County na stima. Now Kenya Power I think Shadizo now KPLC they owe Nairobi City County for their services za takataka. See, yeah, that's the case. So they both owe each other. But I think Kenya Power is more indebted to Nairobi City County.
Kwa sababu nyumba yako Douglas, wewe ukiwa umetumia stima kwa nyumba yako, wewe ndio Kenya Power ama hiyo KPL inakuja inakukatia stima kwa sababu you owe them. Lakini sasa wenye stima, hapo ndio mumenichanganya ya kwamba kwani county ya Nairobi wako na stima yao ama inaenda aje?
Okay, Asha,
Mama, let me break it down so that you can understand. These days, kila kitu ilisongesha kwa county level. Whether it's electricity, it's the finance given out to the county level. Whereby every county the main power station, whereby they distribute the electricity to their generally the country. They manage the damages from the county level. Now, the Nairobi County is supposed to pay for the Nairobi Kenya Power County electricity. Despite that way, the office of Kenya Power, the main office, they are in Nairobi still. So if they are arguing out that ofisi ya Kenya Power or Kenya Power Plaza hawalipi stima, hawalipi services za katakataka, unaona is something like it's not clearly set out, but you can see them arguing over it like it's a big deal or another big issue. Na ni kitu ambacho wanaweza kaa chini wa settle.
Yeah.
So people are sleeping on the job na wanataka kuweka kila kitu kwa internet. Wakiweka wananchi, unajua sasa wananchi ndio wanajitoa, inasemekana ndio watu wanajitoa nguo, because residents ama wananchi kazi yao ni kulipa stima. Na wewe kama unataiana Douglas na Shatiso, nyinyi mukae chini mjue deni yetu ni kiasi, how much are you able to pay, muandike agreement na watu, ile kitu wata Nairobians wanataka ni services. Kama ni kutoa takataka, kama ni kutengeneza, like things like that. Lakini unaona kila mtu amelala kwa job yake na kila mtu anataka kuwa mwerefu, and that is where our country is going down. Hii watu wameandikwa Douglas na Shatiso, are these competent people? Watu kweli wameandikwa kwa hizi makasi, wanajua kasi yao? Ama we pick our relatives, unapatia mtu kasi kubwa bila experience, ama si experience bila akilio ya kuweza kufanya kazi.
Yes, Mama Selina. Okay. Okay. I think hata nicheze tu your video so that we can get the correct the correct information on what's really happening between City Hall and Stima Plaza. So just a moment. There.
Between KPLC and the Nairobi County government has escalated into a standoff for the second day. Garbage trucks have blocked access to KPLC offices at Stima Plaza, filling the air with a stench that has emptied the area. The showdown began when KPLC cut power to county offices over a 3 billion shilling debt. The county retaliated, claiming KPLC owes 4.8 billion shillings in way-leave fees. With tensions rising and NEMA threatening legal action over the waste that continues. Willie Lusige reports.
Normally, this bustling commercial hub around Stima Plaza in Parklands will be teeming with customers, cafes buzzing with chatter, and shops alive with activity. But today, an overwhelming stench hangs heavy in the air, driving people away. The cause, a standoff between Nairobi County government and KPLC, now dragging into its second day. As tension rises, business owners watch helplessly as livelihood are put on hold, the silence echoing their growing despair. For the second day in a row, garbage trucks and loaders from Nairobi County government sit ominously parked here, overflowing with waste. But the message is clear: these vehicles aren't just dumping trash, they're drawing battle lines.
Stench, first of all, is unbearable. When you're inside the restaurant, it is just too much. Both gates have been blocked, so nobody can access.
Like, we haven't operated since yesterday, Today it is still closed. Kuna client wetu mmoja gari yake ilichukuliwa na mpaka sasa hajaipata, na huyo ni mtu alikuwa amekuja kuchukua samaki.
Business owners count losses and organizations with offices in the building are stranded as employees stay away, repelled by the stench. The Kenya Power Pension Fund, owners of Steamer Plaza, voices concerns over the impact on other tenants, stressing that KPLC doesn't own the building. They argue it's unfair for the county government to block access, causing significant losses to innocent businesses.
Kenya Power is just one of the tenants. And it's quite unfortunate that this matter that has got nothing to do with the building, has got nothing to do with the landlord.
Tensions are at a breaking point. Frustrated and fed up Kenya Power employees issue an ultimatum: clear the West or they be forced to act.
And we are telling Sakaja and team, we are also now going to disconnect power in all your the offices, even your home. Sakaja, be prepared. Remove your trucks. We are giving you 24 hours. Failure to do that, please don't complain. We will take it upon ourselves, Kenya Power employees.
The National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, has stepped in with a firm ultimatum. They have ordered Nairobi County government to clear the West and restore the area or face legal action for weaponizing filth.
Especially the removal of the vehicles should be immediate. If you don't do what we tell you to do, then what follows after that is prosecution. What we are seeing here is waste being used as a weapon. It is wrong.
It is a high-stakes showdown. KPLC cut power to county government offices over 3 billion shillings in unpaid bills. The county hit back, blocking Steamer Plaza with garbage trucks, demanding 4.8 billion shillings for lay leave. Two giants locked in a financial showdown, neither side barging. The city waits, caught in the crossfire.
The same way they ask the rest of us to pay their bills, have a duty and responsibility to pay to the Nairobi City County government for the services we offer them.
The pungent smell emanating from the west behind me is touching the deepest point of my veins in my nostril. Now, the tussle between the county government of Nairobi and Kenya Power has now escalated and affecting hundreds of residents living nearby Steamer Plaza. NEMA warning that the county faces a risk of being prosecuted for weaponizing West. William Ruto, Citizen TV, Steamer Plaza, Nairobi.
Okay, so there you have it. There's the correct story of your Mipata. I think
Yes,
honestly
umepata.
that is really
So
petty.
ni mambo
Okay,
ya
so
race.
just a heads up, Dogo Marcelina. So just a heads up. So Chadizo is seated on my left hand side somewhere. So Kiora Nikipenduka, just excuse me kidogo. But anyway, Mama Selina.
Yes, nasema sasa tumeelewa ni mambo ya rate na mambo ya stima. Ndio nilikuwa nauliza what was the problem. So tumeelewa. But now City Council, watu wamefungia watu ya hoteli, hiyo watu wengine wanalipa license to county. So ukijaribu umeharibia Kenya Power, you have also affected the businesses. Kama huyo mama ameongea ya hoteli na hiyo harufu yote surely. Now na unajua ukiwa na license unalipa county. Wangekuwa na other way ya kusolve hiyo shida, kwa sababu imefika ile tunaambiwa inapata waliyekuemo na wasiyekuemo. So hii problem ya county na Kenya Power imepata sasa hata Kenya Power inakomboa a building. Kama vile wewe unakomboa hoteli yako hapo. Na umekuja kuharibia kila mtu, wale wanauza, na mwenye anafaitika end of the day ni City Council, because hauwezi fungua biashara bila kuwa na license. Haya, hiyo hoteli yako pia kama ni stima unalipa Kenya Power ama unalipa county. So county government ya Nairobi inaumisa tena ni swake biashara. Hiyo hoteli kama umelete samaki na hiyo samaki yote hakuna mtu anakula, na samaki ni vitu huwezi weka kwa fridge. So the loss of the citizens ama the loss of watu ya biashara, wakati watakuwa wameelewana, wametoa hiyo chafu. Neema ndio nimefurahi wameingilia, but it is a little too late. Na sasa tutalaumu nani? Douglas, tumesema kuna mambo ya national government na kuna mambo ya county government. Now we are blaming the county government kwa sababu utaniambia leo hiyo shida ni ya national government. People are sakata the governor na officers wake, alafu umeniambia devolution. So hii ni watu ya jamii moja. These are the people working in the same county. It is only different offices. Kama ni hivyo, watu wote wafutwe, including the governor. Because governor ameshindwa kufanya kazi yake. Watu ya Kenya Power wameshindwa kufanya kazi yao. KPL, alafu sasa asara ya businesses ile imeharibika. Hiyo arifu mbaya. Who will pay these citizens? Tunasema nchi yetu haina pesa. Tunasema nchi yetu nchi ni mbaya. So who will pay that? Chatiso na Douglas. Hiyo watu wameenda asara for 2 days. Wajauza business, wajafungua, machakula yao imeharibika because you cannot eat kwa mahali kama hapo. So after wamekubaliana kulipa hiyo deni yenye wanaulisana county government na KPL na Kenya Power stima, what will happen with the people? Hayo tu nataka nijue.
I'll leave Shadizo to take that question. Shadizo.
Okay.
What do you make of this pettiness?
Number one shows the way that the leadership is not doing right. Because if we have the argument on, for example, like a matter like that, it's our responsibility like leaders to sort out it. Douglas, before something escalates that point, meaning the two leadership, they're having a problem. Whereby we anatuma barua, but no one is responding. Alafu utakuta argument iko hapa, wewe anaambia wewe lipa kwanza, unaambia wewe lipa kwanza. No. Wewe lipa kwanza, ambia wewe lipa yako kwanza.
Wewe ndio uko na mingi.
Wewe ndio uko na mingi. Wewe unasema, "Oh, mimi niko nako mingi lakini unaona sikudai."
But isn't that petty? Nairobi City County imeamka siku moja ikienda kutupa takataka juu. Because the building inaitwa stima.
Before ifike story ya kwenda kutupa takataka, how do you think it's been? Because Stima Plaza is almost near Ngara. And it's on the 2 junctions. So imagine that place, Stima Plaza, it is next to Stima Sacco. And before if you can escalate the leadership, I still blame the leadership because huyu anaambia huyu lipa pesa yangu, huyu anaambia na lipa yangu kuna yangu mingi. You see? Unaambia wewe uko na yangu mingi na sikudai, lakini mimi niko na yangu kidogo unanidai. So what's the problem? Or what's the deal? Mbona wasilipe pesa na waache kwa na hizi issues hizi? Because
Douglas Penya kaka anasema umtumie link.
Okay, I carry on, Shadiza.
Okay, this is a petty and a silly thing. If we are promising Kenyans that let us go to work, tutalipwa. Promising Kenya that tunafanya nchi yetu songa mbele, tunafanya everything go on, and the major companies that they are supposed to lead by example, they are doing such like things. What do you expect? Na maisha ukiwa na deni yangu kesho nitakuja kufunga kwako gate. Does the law allow that?
No.
Law inasema nini kuhusiana na story ya Made? If the big companies zimeanza kufungiana mpaka imeleta truck mbili imewekwa barabara. Kumbuka place imewekwa barabara, ni barabara inapita. Mbele yake kuna hoteli, immediately after that plaza, nyuma yake kuna hii the barabara inapanda juu kupitia Stima Plaza. So hapa katikati hakuna wewe unaweza pita. If you want to pass Stima Plaza, is meaning kuja kwa Stima nini? Sako, urudi mpaka mbele, urudi Ngara Road, tena urotate hivi, tena ndio urudi sasa tena huko. And that picture shows that kweli, if the Nairobi government has into do that, it means that we don't have a leader in Nairobi. Because if kama kampuni mbili zinapigana, and yet you are the one overall of the two places ziko chini ya nini yako, you have the power to command and you have the power to call them, okay, kujeni, let us settle this issue. But up to now, the government have not speaking up. Sasa unaanza kuona nao Neema imeanza kuingilia ndani, other parties zimeanza kuingilia ndani. While no one, even the MP from that place anasema kitu yote, the governor anasema kitu yote. Yet is the one standing up for the county government, and yet Stima Plaza, okay, inaweza kuwa it's the general for the whole Kenya, but iko wapi bado? Iko na Nairobi.
But you know, with this you know, it works with bureaucracy. There's someone in charge of it all, but honestly, it's just really petty, and it's not a good show for our country. It's just it's not a good depiction of what our governance and leadership should be. Just like Shadizo says that you know, it speaks of how rotten our leadership is. You know, I totally agree with that. And it's a really bad picture. Before I have Lala now with me in studio. Before I bring him in, Chatu ni visit some people in the comment section who are engaging with me. Okay, so I had Tuni Mohamud, as usual, very early here. It says, hi Douglas and everyone. Hi to you too, Tuni Mohamud. Sema Mama Selina, welcome. And she's just reminding you to like, share and share the video, subscribe the channel, and join the show. We have vote. Kona Awesome says Raila has nothing to lose supporting Ruto. Gachagua insulted him. Uhuru conned him. Kalonzo is also another nuisance. So Raila should remain with the current administration. 2027 is still far away, and a day in politics brings a lot of changes. Mdume zapo analima Mama Selina. Anyway, Halima Hassan says, hi Douglas and your participants. Hi to you, Halima too, and my participants, Msalimiwa Shadizo, Mama Selina, Lala, who's just joined us. Awesome again says, the calculus in Kenyan politics is very complicated. Whatever a group of people do and looks popular does not guarantee a winning formula until the election is done. Let's think whatever is said on is exactly what's going to happen. I guess let's think whatever is said. Oh, okay, I've gotten it. It's corrected. I think the statement says the calculus in Kenyan politics is very complicated. Whatever a group of people do and looks popular does not guarantee a winning formula until the election is done. Let's think whatever is said, not exactly what is going to happen. Okay. We have Tayanix Pictures says Ruto aliweka watu wake kwa kikapu kitambo sana, Mama Selina. So wacha Wamnyoro wajaribu bahati yake, bitterness ya nini. I think that is just reflecting on an earlier contribution ya Mama Selina. I mean, let's not be influenced by social media or international TV thinking that what is said is going to happen in 2027. That is awesome. Okay, I'm going to pick more comments later. Shadizo TV Extra, Shadizo says, Kenya kila mtu huenda kinyume na matarajio. Our priorities, of course, zinakuanga the other way around. Okay, my poll question was up. Do you think the ongoing Ouster battle of Supreme Court judges will impact judicial independence? 40 votes so far, 65% say yes, 35% say no. I want to bring in Lala, and I also have Ellie with me in studio. But before I bring them, I just wanted to play a second bite on what Raila said today. Raila showed up, was it on Sunday or yesterday? But we had that conversation yesterday. So, it's a story that is continuing to develop. We continue to follow up what he's scheming, because Raila, actually all politicians are always scheming. So we're going to be following up on that build-up. So here's what happened today. Just a moment.
And opposition leader Raila Odinga is keeping the nation guessing, promising to reveal his next political move next week. Raila kicked off a series of strategic consultations in Kisumu, holding closed-door meetings with the Luo Council of Elders and local youth leaders. He plans to continue these engagements across the country before making his big announcement. All eyes are on him as the political landscape braces for his next move. Here's Ben Kirui with that report.
Fresh from Addis Ababa, where he lost his bid for the AUC Chairmanship, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has embarked on a series of high-level consultations to shape his next political move. Hinting at a major announcement in the coming week, Odinga urged Kenyans to stay tuned as he engages several groups in different parts of the country for action.
But before I make any comprehensive statement, I was going to consult widely. I'm not just going to be confined to Nyanza or this part of Nyanza. I will be talking to leadership from Kisii, from Western, from the coast, from the Rift Valley, from the Eastern, from Northeastern, from Central, all over the country.
Addressing his supporters, Odinga called for an end to the focus on his failed AUC campaign, instead urging them to look ahead and embrace the future.
That chapter is now behind us. Now we're moving forward. I'd said that there was going to be life after Addis Ababa, and that's why I'm back here. I said yesterday that East and West, home is best.
During his visit to his political stronghold of Kisumu, Odinga held a closed-door meeting with the elders from the Luo Council, drawing representatives from Kisumu, Migori, Homa Bay, and Siaya counties. Later in the afternoon, he engaged in another private session at City Hall, meeting with youth leaders from across the county for nearly 2 hours.
I came to meet with the youth leaders here at the county hall. Met with the leadership of the youth from the entire county of Kisumu. And I've also shared with them what I saw during my campaign for the chairmanship of the AU, what transpired also in Addis Ababa.
The opposition chief returned to the country on Monday and later met President William Ruto at the coast. Following their discussion, Ruto affirmed that his administration was open to working with Odinga to advance the government's development agenda. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Okay. Sorry for that. But there you go, Lala. So welcome to the show, Lala and Ellie. Who just joined us. I'll start with you, Lala. Say hi to us.
Oh, hi, Douglas. I was supposed to join you yesterday, but something came up. So I think you saw me come and then I left. So I couldn't stay on. Mama Selena, it's good to see you. Na vizuri kukuona leo. Na Shadizo. Shadizo is a pleasure. Na wale wenzetu ambao wako huko nyuma, amjambo. I've not listened to you guys ongoing, but I just came towards the end and I joined in. But I saw the clip on which you showed there on Baba, and I've been following keenly on some of his utterances, some of his and the debate that some people have been raising. Na kwangu mimi mwenyewe, I'm really admiring Baba. I'm admiring him because is Baba. That talk amesema ni kama ya Baba. Nataka kwenda every part of the country to listen to the people before I make a major announcement. And although people have been wondering, he comes in, go to Ruto, why Ruto and all that. But I think Baba is not fake. Fakeness is coming and not even thinking of what went right and what went wrong. So I think it's important for him and the Ruto and others to talk and figure out what's going on, the courtesy that we see here may mean very little in terms of what is coming ahead of us. So people are guessing, bado tuna piga mbinu, tunaona kuna nini hapa na kuna nini pale, Baba atafanya nini, na hayo yote is good for politics. So we keep on guessing. And so to me, I don't want to be kimbelembele, to come with all the answers like many pundits or pundits come over here when as if they know all the answers. And I think little knowledge is very dangerous. And Kenya is a place for little knowledge. Somebody hears something and they rush to the press and begin to show what they know, what they think will happen. This is what will happen. It's like we put a conclusion to very, very immature process. We don't even know, but already we have answers. So we have simplistic answer to all the complex questions, which is really dangerous. So to me, let's wait. It's okay, we can analyze what's going on, but then we have to wait and see. At the end of the day, this is my litmus test for true politics that will liberate us. Is it based on truth and facts? Is it built on hate and tribalistic thinking and thoughts that people perpetuate wanazungumzia hapa? Kama it is based on truth and facts, sina shida. Hata kama ni some truths are coming up from people like Gachagua, they may be very relevant in terms of helping us see what went on behind the scene, wherever it's coming from. But if it's contributing to truth so that we have truth at the foundation, then I'm okay with it. There are a lot of questions I still have in my mind. I'd like those questions to be answered. Lakini ili siasa ya cover things so that we can move forward, that's where we go nowhere. Manake tunafika pahali, then we come back again. And this is where we are kind of in vicious cycle. We are trapped in there because of corrupt practices and lies, which are purely lies. So we build our lives on lies, and it will not stand. Haiwezi kusimama uongo, haiwezi kusimama hata kidogo. So mimi kwangu naona mambo si mabaya sana. I think some are tunaangalia, we are seeing things opening up. We are seeing some cover stuff, some corpses where they have been buried, being kind of resurrected a little, so that we can be able to see what is going on behind the scene. So let us pursue truth. I think that's the most important thing. And of course, behind it, there must be a deep love for the nation, a deep love for truth, a deep love for the country. That's how we can change our economy. That's how we can build a new nation. We have the US, where things are bad. If things are really bad, okay? Our general, QC Brown, one of the best trained F-16, that's the Eagle. That is like the king of the air. That whoever trained there, who is the master of F-16, control the sky. This is one of the best trained fighter pilot with all the experiences that he has gone through. And to be a black man, to have risen to that level, where not many of them, 0.001%, could go up that level. He's always been alone in most of the ranks, because he is one of the kind, the first one. Colin Powell was the first one, but came from the army. But this guy comes from the Air Force. QC Brown. When I was in Pasadena Air Force Base, he was in charge of the Supreme Command of the Pacific Ocean. I did communicate with him. At one time, I wanted him and Ugola to meet, and look at what has happened to him. The man has been kicked out. And the one appointed is someone with less qualification, somebody who had already been retired, and whose reason for being appointed there is because he liked Trump. Okay, he liked Trump. So we are having issues even within our system. In fact, I just read today 300 generals have resigned. Okay, because of what Trump has done to General Brown. And part of the American problem is, this alternative truth, falsehood, and people are so divided. And now the same issue, let's look at it at home. What is going on here at home? So right now, with the Baba's move, I think is not a bad idea. It's raising a conversation, but let that conversation be around truth, not lies, not coming up with think we know. People come up with some kind of crazy thought, crazy ideas, things that they already have been working on, some theories and all that. These are enemies of Kenya. When you're just lying, you're lying to people, it is wrong. Part of the reason why we are in this problem is because people are lied all the way to where we are. Some people don't know the truth, facts, and truth. And so it is important for us to rally around truth. Young people, Gen Z and the rest, let us question, let us seek truth, let us abide by truth, let us stay in love for our nation. That is the way we will save our country. So, so far, what I've seen, maybe the other thing that I will listen to you guys and share with me, based on fact that Baba is going around, I think it's fine. The fact that he's come to talk to Ruto at the end of it is fine. Would you wanted him to go and start doing his own thing from Addis Ababa, disappointed? I think that is childish, that is anger. I think you come back and do evaluation. You look at what went right, what went wrong, and then you come up with a comprehensive review and answers, and then you make a decision. So everything to me, I think is perfectly fine. I think we are making too much politics out of it. And of course, we're in a situation where people are panicking. So we are moving, we come with all kinds of theories. So let me hear from you guys, and thank you, Douglas, and let me sit back and hear what's going on. Thank you,
Okay,
Eli.
before I bring in Eli, I just wanted you to tell me, okay, from where you're sitting, now that Raila is back to local politics, how does politics look, in your eyes going forward? Say a couple of months from now, especially post the next finance bill and the questions that will come up after that.
Douglas, that's a hard question, because as you stated, I think earlier, that what happens is not what we see. The Kenyan have this idea that they have an election when actually they don't have. What goes on in the election is something else. Okay, so we may plan, strategize, and do that, but things that will happen are different. So whatever we are doing now should take us to where fact and truth can lead us and guide us. Because even so-called people on my side who are fighting for this governance, sometimes we get excited and say things that are not helpful. So way forward, I think there's a lot that we're going to see next few days. Okay, I think they're going to be counter-alliance here and there, because for me, I don't even think what we talk about Baba is doing, has done, is actually true or will do. I don't think we know that. Okay, I think there are a lot of fears out there, and fears in so many ways. There are people that they want to go near power, and they are on the wrong, in their own mind, they're on the wrong side, so they are strategizing, ways to get in. It doesn't matter, but what it takes to get there. Okay, and then there are those people that are true, to the core. They want good governance, and this is where I'm sure Gen Zs and others are. You're trying good governance, and there are some of us, people like Selena and others, that really want a working government, and there are those that all they want to do is to fill their pocket. So we have got so many dynamics that are taking place here. But I believe that if we stand on what we believe is truth, for example, we know what happened, what got us here. Okay, so in my mind, I think less truth even overthrow bad laws or bad constitutional phrases. Let's change things. If we believe that things are right, okay, then let the Constitution be able to get it. For example, now, I don't really hear me. Right now, we are in this dispensation that all of us know that it wasn't done right. Of course, the others that were not right. I mean, this is like this 5 years. We know that it is. Let me call it unconstitutional, because if the person ruling was never elected, it means that we are not following the Constitution. So we may not say it that way. We want to accept it for what it is, but we know something is wrong, and whatever's wrong will not just go away. So to me, it doesn't matter. If it means getting rid of this government today, so that the rest of the maybe 1 year or 2 years before the next election, we follow the right way I think to me is perfectly fine. But for us to just close our eyes to complete it, then we look at 2027 to correct the problem is foolish, because it will not. It actually just prepares a group of people that they're looking for is 2027. So they will do anything to get what they want, because that's what wins in Kenya. So Kenyans must know that when you know the truth, let truth begin to work now. Now is, I think, as the Bible says, now is the day of salvation. Now is the time. It's not tomorrow. This idea of tomorrow, 2027, is what is killing us. If we know things are wrong, whether Gachagua told us, whoever told us, that this is what it is, let's do it now. That is the only way to reset the pendulum and put at the right timing. And then we start from there, start with the truth. Or else we wait 2027, you know what? We shall be living with trauma and unresolved issues in the past. And a lot of the history of humanity has a lot to tell us about people who are traumatized in their past. When they take leadership, we are in trouble. Men like Nero, when you have a bad past, you don't correct any problem, it doesn't go away. We got to correct it now. If there's a problem, let us not assume that we are fine till 2027. Let's do it now. That's what will save us. The truth must be now, not tomorrow. Thank you. I think Mama Selina has something to say.
Yes, I want yes, nataka kuuliza Lala, nimesikiza vile anasema na yote ni mzuri, but I'm asking you. Unasema Gachagua atuambie. Gachagua was inside. Yeye alichakuliwa. Ni vile tu alitolewa is talking. How 100% are you with what Gachagua is saying? Na kama tulisema hii serikali iende, ilikuwa tunasema kufa driver, kufa makanga. And then now, tunatoa hii serikali, sahi Gachagua anachipanga kuconsult. So vile anachipanga, is he saying ako tayari kutoa hii serikali? Ama hata yeye anasema anachiconsult, wana prepare for 2027. No, but Lala, we were here. Wakati CNC, wakati baba alienda kabla ya CNC, wakati tulianza maandamano, we told Kenyans, come out in large numbers, tutoe hii serikali. Na tukasema revolution inaenda more than 7 days, it's not a revolution. Ya baba ikaenda. Vijana wakatokea the first day. Tukaambia watu, let us join them. Ikaishia. Now, chenye inasemwa hapa, watu wawili wamekosana. Ruto na Gachagua. Gachagua anasema alinidanganya, nikamupeleka mlima. Anataka kurevenge, kutumia sisi, kusaidia kurevenge shida yake na Ruto. Niliuliza jana na ninakuuliza Reverend today. Mtoto alisaliwa 2022. After 5 years, atakuwa amefika miaka 5. We are raising taxes. Wa Kenya. Wale walipika kura na wale wakupika kura. Tunatoa taxes yetu. Tunapatia wale. Alafu sasa, umetoka nje. Unajua shida yako, mulifanyana nini? If Gachagua was very genuine, alituambia kura iliipiwa. Yeye ni pipi ya pasta. Sidhani angekuwa ya kwanza kukubali kukua deputy president. Wakati aliamuka akasema yeye ameshika rungu, anachunga hiyo mkoroki asiingie State House. Alikuwa hiyo msee alikuwa amemfanyia nini? Na alisema shareholders, kama hukupigia Ruto kura na Gachagua, amwezi pata development in your communities. Na nyinyi munatoa taxes. We need to be sure here, Reverend Lala. What is it that Gachagua anatuambia that we want to close our eyes ati tumsaidie? Yani mkipigana watu wawili, unataka kulazimisha kila mtu akuja aseme mmoja ni mbaya na wewe che. Gachagua angetuambia bila yeye ametolewa, hata mwenzake atolewe kwa sababu wote walikuwa na makosa. Lakini huwezi kuja kutuambia nilidanganywa ati hata ile sijui nani ya Kongo nilimuita, nikamulete, nikamuingiza State House, nikaambiwa nitoke, nikatoka, Reverend Lala, we are not going anywhere. Chusi tumekuwa na experience. Baba akifanya campaign ya kwenda Addis Ababa, watu walirecruit, wakafurahi. No, wacha siku hii ya kura hiyo ameanguka, wachana naye. Wakati alikuwa anatembea akitafuta, all those leaders, they were against it. Then now, the last minute wakati amekuwa huko, amerudi. Sasa Raila amekuwa mzuri. Sasa Raila akuje tuungane, tumupatie kiti. Utusaidie tumalize Ruto. Kwani yeye wakati ya Kibaki hakusimama nawa. Wakati ya Jaramogi hakusimama nawa. Wakati ya Uhuru hakusimama nawa. Better the devil you know than the angel ile unafikiria ako. Tumewajua. Ruto ni mbaya and I hate him. Na mimi hata nimesema hapa. Mimi ni mtu ya Kenya. Lakini Ruto alifanya jambo moja. Akasimama na huyo baba ya ukweli. Raila alikuwa candidate ya Kenya. Anaambiwa ametumia pesa. Aseme hiyo pesa ametumia. The same people wale wanasema wanataka pesa yenye Ruto ametumia kupeleka Raila luxury. Unasikia mtu sahi anasema Kenya Power wako na shida na mtu anaitwa nani hiyo governor ya Nairobi Sakaja alikuwa na pesa ya kwenda kufanyia baba Pat Bomas of Kenya. Kwani huyu Raila ana marafiki wengine wanaweza mpatia pesa mpaka ikue hawa? We need to be serious, Reverend Lala. Urafiki ya uongo Raila today hata Gachagua akikubali kuingia that trap 2027 itakuja the same story. Tuliambiwa Raila ni number 2 and they will play the same game ya number 2. Atapelekwa, ikifika jioni wanaweka mtu yao. Nyinyi tutarudi hapa tukilia tukihusunika. Mimi nasema hivi, if you have a genuine friend, go with it. Ruto ameonyesha genuine moja ya Raila 2007 akiwa ODM. Baba was a prime minister. He fight. Mimi nilikuwa na Matakarua. Mimi nilikuwa na Kenya. Na Matakarua tulikuwa tuna communicate wakiwa TICC. Na Ruto ndiye alikuwa nasimama hapo. Orengo was there. Alifight mpaka baba akakuwa prime minister. Amekuja the second time. Wakati watu hata kuenda kuona mpira. Wafuasi wanaendanga, kuna mtu analipia the whole family. Na wanachaa kwa stadium. Wewe umeona vile Amerika inakaa. Kulikuwa na shida gani watu 100 ama members of parliament wale wanaamini huyo baba waenda Addis Ababa wamshikilie akiwin ama akianguka. If Raila was just alone kwa hiyo Addis Ababa, pila hiyo watu wengine walienda tu at least kukaa na yeye, unafiki si mzuri. It is not right. Na lazima tuongee mahali imefika. Wacha watu wakiongea na tunaongea. Ukweli isemwe. Kama Ruto ni adui, nani alimpigia kura? Mulisema mulipigia Ruto kwa sababu Uhuru alikuwa amepromise 10 years. So Kachakwa ama hiyo watu Ruto aende 10 years. Ndio wamalize hiyo deni walikuwa natuambia. Si ati sasa kila mtu wabebe msiko ya mlima ati kwa sababu wamedharauliana na Ruto. Walimweka kwa hiyo kiti lala. They put him, he's their president. Sisi wengine ni kuingilia tu. Lakini kura yako na yangu haikuenda huko. Why are we carrying? Kwa nini tunabeba msiko ya watu wengine? Unaua mtoto yako na unataka mimi nikusaidie. Ama nikupatie yangu na wewe umeua yako. Haiendi hivyo. Nchi yetu imekuwa mbaya ndio. Tunaambiwa rais yenye walimchakua asikanyake Meru. Asikanyake mlima. Wacha rais aende mahali anakaribishwa. Wacha aende wale watu wanahitaji services. Watu kama Mombasa, watu kama Nyanza, wako na vitu mingi wajaifanyiwa kwa sababu wamekuwa opposition. So this time round, hii serikali ya mseto si ya mtu. Kama hamutatoa Ruto sahi na hamukutoa, atamaliza 5 years. Na kama aliweza nimalize, kama alichukua serikali pia wakati tulikuwa na Uhuru, tulikuwa na all arms. Raila hata mpaka tunaambiwa tutengeneze inaitwa nini, KICC. Uliona vile tulikuwa tumerembesa KICC. What happened? So this one, hata ndio Ruto hakuna mtu anamtaka. Lakini kuna watu wamenyamaza. Watu ya kushout ni wachache. We are not serious. Kama tutatoa Ruto kwa sababu mlima wanasema mtusaidie, we are the angels. Wangekuwa angels, wangekuwa wameweka Raila. Amesimama mara 5. Mara 3 yote ni yao. Atuokobani sasa. Kama Kachakwa wasimame kila mtu. Mimi niko na ile nasema baba aende mpaka Kamba, Ruto aende mpaka Kamba, Kachakwa aende mpaka Kamba, and then tufanye coalition after election. Lakini kama tunaambiwa tukuje tusanyane tumalize Ruto, Ruto is not working alone in the government. Raila amekuwa OAU, Uhuru alienda pale, hakuonekana. He was supposed to be talking. Wakati Raila alimensioniwa, watu wakasema tunataka Uhuru. Saa ile ilikosa chini ya Uhuru, walikimbia kutafuta Kikwete.
Okay.
Lala, I'm saying this. Mimi ni Mkalenjin, I don't lose nothing. Moi alifanya 24 years, Ruto is there to go again. Kikuyu wameenda 3 times. Kuna makabila ingine ya Kenya hata wajaichua hiyo kiti inakaaje. Natetea wa Kenya. Mimi kama Mkale tumekuwa kwa hiyo kiti. Na hata tuko tayari kuendelea. Kama wa Kenya wakuchi pamoja. Wakikuyu wamekuwa pale. Kachakwa anatuambia lazima atakuwa kwa hiyo mesa. Na yeye ndiye atasema who will be the president. Hii kabila ingine 42 hawana chao. Ati tusaidiane.
Okay.
No way.
Okay. Thank you, Marcelina, for that. Okay. So Eli, if you Eli has dropped out before I gave him an opportunity to make his contribution. So Eli, if you're watching, please come back.
Was mine. I think that was me naturally to come in and address the issue.
Okay, but
Asante Mama Selina.
Make it short.
Yeah, because Asante Mama Selina. Mama Selina, mimi nakubaliana na wewe, lakini swala what I was addressing is nothing to do with what you're talking. Yani vile una point zako nachukua yani nachukua hizo point ambazo umezileta, lakini kwangu ilikuwa tofauti. Tofauti yangu ni kwamba yani shida yetu ni kama tunajiondoa from the constitution and from truth, and the truth can be shared by anyone. I'm the last person to think of Gachagua to be the leader. Kwangu mimi mwenyewe there's a system that was there. That system was Ruto and Gachagua. And Gachagua is helping us dismantle what all of us knew all along, that there was something wrong. Okay? The power that Ruto has right now is coming from that election. No. And that we know it was a bad election. And Gachagua is just helping us to confirm. So for me to fight for Gachagua would be, it's like, to me, Gachagua and Ruto, I put them in the same camp. Okay? So if we can address shida ambayo tumekuwa nayo kama wa Kenya, shida ya ni we are not authentic, we are not genuine, we will go with anything. In other words, the end justifies the mean. I'm talking about the mean. If we believe that election had to be won, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Lazima tuangalie, because yani kama leta hii vita ni kati ya Gachagua na Ruto, without saying this is a fight, a Kenyan versus politician, Kenyan versus, corrupt men and women, then we're going to miss the point here. So yes, Gachagua is not my candidate, cannot be my candidate, okay? But truth has to win the day. The truth is that we got to be constitutional. We have to have a contract as Kenyans and follow the true north. Not every 5 years, we don't know who won the election, how it was done, because we have people that we rally around. As long as a person cheats and win, then we are fine. I think that's what we are fighting, even in this channel. Yeah. So I got no problem with what Mama Selina is saying, but I have a problem with the idea that we can decide to even follow Baba because he's Baba. We are following Baba because he has always consistently followed the true north, the truth. He's consistently come to the point where he has to give up because he saw the nation was going in the wrong direction. Okay, that's a different.
At what point? I have an issue with that. At what point did he see that the nation is going the wrong direction?
Douglas, you should not have a point with that because history is very, very clear.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not making a point.
Worldwide, 25%. When people fight for truth or for good governance and all that, what they end up with is worse. And it's always been spiraling, going down the tube. And so Kenya is not special that it cannot follow that trend. Okay? So, so when we talk about giving ourselves a little break to be able to correct things, it's almost like you're in a bus and there's no driver on the wheel. You can't just say that where it's going to end, let it end there. Somebody may have to steer that bus to take to a place where you can correct the problem, but we never correct the problem. And what we are doing basically is either we are living in a world that never been lived before, or we are simply being naive and being wapumbavu instead of really correcting the problem, or fear to grip the point where we can't even correct the problem. So I think that's where we are as Kenyans. So to me, I think coming back and talking to Ruto, I think we should not read too much into it. I'm sure there's a time if you make a wrong decision, what some of us think is wrong, people are going to get very, very angry. But for us to start becoming know-it-all, we know what's happening, I don't think we are helping the conversation. Back to you, Douglas.
Well, thank you, Lala. Let me come back to you, Shadizo. As a young person, maybe maybe you can be able to see my angle. My point is just, my question is, at some point we were all saying Ruto must go, and including on this channel, we were saying Ruto must go, and it's eventually Raila is in Ruto's court, and now people are saying that there's all this new conversation about being conservative, and people are saying that we were going to ruin ourselves, and Raila knows what's best for this country, and all of a sudden Ruto is okay and he should continue doing development. So what's your view on that?
Kwanza mimi nakwambia Wakenya siwezi washikia shati kwa sababu wanaweza kugeuka dakika yoyote. Kenyans, they would like to hear that Shadizo stand up, will vote for you. Yes, because mama shetani atakunamba kwa mgongo. So those, you need to know that that's number one, the Kenyans whom we are dealing. So if they are the Kenyans that we are dealing with, ambao wanaweza kudanganya simama, and then the next day kute wacha peke yako, ambao wanatread carefully. And then this one thing that I have realized, that most of this thing is being built up with people who want the benefit from the government, whereby they will start to decide where they feel they are benefiting from it. The time that Uhuru was independent, walisema kwamba Uhuru ni mzuri. The time Uhuru united, Ruto went to say Uhuru at home, they turned and said Uhuru ni mbaya. Uhuru is no more the kingpin for the Kikuyus. You see? So there are some people who want to benefit that goes their sides. The time that Kindiki was appointed DP, watu wa Mlima walisema kwamba tumesaudika, tujue tumefanyika nini. But the truth is Kindiki not from Mlima. They decided to make the people from Meru feel like kumbe Meru sio part of Mlima. We are only part of Mlima when they want the election. After the election, we are not part of Mlima. You see? So such a kind of issues, they normally say like minor issues, but they bring cousins and people not. So number one thing that we have to trade in Kenya is like, know your place, trade careful, do what you feel is good. But one thing to think that people will support you because of doing this, people will ever be against you. People have supported, they will say that Ruto is doing good, support Raila to what? To be voted from AU. But now Raila is back, now they want him now to get united with Ruto. So if you say you want to please Kenyans, you can please Kenyans. The only thing I can say about Kenyans, do what you feel is good, do what you feel is right, and then leave for other people. Because everyone, kila mtu akona maoni yake. Na huwezi kimiliza maoni kila mtu.
Okay, thank you. So, there's people, I feel like, okay, from what Shadizo is saying, just to echo what Shadizo is saying, I just feel like we as Kenyans, we are okay to criticize wrong if it's not serving us. But once, the moment it's serving us, the moment we are included, all of a sudden it's, no one cares anymore and everyone is just preaching peace and, you guys should shut up. And, we only criticize when it's not convenient. But once it gets convenient for us, we begin to take the moral high ground. I want to pose a different question for you, Lala. So yesterday I was having a discussion here with Mama Selina and Kindube, and I was telling them, I was asking them, really, June 25th, the protest that you were talking about, that they were going to destroy the nation. they were initially very, very peaceful. They were constitutional. The constitution provides for peaceful protests, no chaos, until the police began to be violent, and politicians began to plant rogue protesters to destroy a protest that was actually peaceful. It's the most peaceful protest that we have ever seen in Kenya since the dawn of democracy. I was asking them, actually I was telling them that the only way Raila can salvage his legacy, because last year tainted his legacy. I was saying that now that he's in government, the only way he can salvage his democracy is by giving us that space once more to express ourselves, to go out and protest what we don't like, what we don't want. Can he create that space? Can he create that democratic space where we are free to go out and protest? Because right now that right doesn't exist. You can't gather in town and and protest for something you don't like without being harassed by cops. Can he do that?
First of all, I don't know why people think Raila is in government. I think he has some influence because of the power, because of the situation. He can suggest some things because Ruto is on the rope. So that's very, very clear. But whether he's in the government, I don't think he is in the government. And unless we define government to mean where he decide who becomes what, I think Ruto is the one calling the shots at this moment.
Right.
But of course,
did you watch the news yesterday? Did you watch the news yesterday?
What did the news say?
Monday, yeah, they were together in State House Mombasa, and after coming back from the whole AUC thing, they were together with Ruto is currently touring coastal counties, so he began in Mombasa.
I think I saw that, but even with that kind of, I know the protocol that was there. I think with that, I think Ruto is desperate. That's a desperation, and Baba, of course, has coming in there after whatever has happened. Ruto is trying to get a mileage out of it, and of course, the language and what people think this is what's happening. But I think we're reading too much into that, and this is where I think Kenyans make a big mistake, because they already know what Baba is thinking, what he's going to do. So even this meeting is going to have this consultation. They already have answers. This is where we go wrong, because and you stated clearly there that with the Gen Zs, they were not going to destroy it. It was either going to make the country better or they're going to destroy it. But people who are going to destroy it were not the Gen Zs. They were the people who had the power, that have been using those powers. They're the ones abducting us, doing all this crazy stuff in there. They still have some powers there. Not, you see. So the fact that we were demonstrating, Gen Zs were on the street, did not stop them from doing the things that they were doing. Maybe if they chase Ruto, all these people would be baptized, they become good Kenyans, and then they allow Gen Z to take over. I mean, we don't know what was happening. And maybe after they kick, Ruto out, get rid of him, Gachagua was going to take over. We would have having Gachagua now, So we didn't know that the darkness in which we did not have a clear map what's going on played a role, I think, in terms of people questioning what is really going on here. Because James's, you guys, your intention was good. You only wanted a good governance. You didn't want people like Ruto to be there, and that was a noble cause. But beyond that, there was nothing crafted to be able to lead us past what was there. What would have happened was either we go for Raila, at that time because he won the election, or we choose the supreme, the court person, or the Speaker of National Assembly, or the General of the Army. Okay, that would have been the logical sequence. Or maybe Makure and all those people who are, leading those agencies. We didn't know what was happening. So that's the area where some people are kind of concerned, that what is it that's going on here. But the Gen Z spirit is alive, is great. We need that bravery. We need that leadership of young people to do it, and to lead us in the right direction. But my age, we are in a different bracket altogether. And this is where you find those people who are doing some of those havoc to our young people and to people that they thought were enemies. So that's why I look at it. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Lala, for clarifying that. I see your angle, and the concern. Okay, I see that concern. The situation became extremely volatile, and people are headed for a coup. So the concern was, if you people, get Ruto out, then you leave. What will be left is a power vacuum, and as usual, nature abhors a vacuum. So what next? So I understand that concern, but my question, but I disagree with you on you denying that Raila is not in government.
I don't think so. I think he may be in the government if he wants to. I mean, but right now, no. But I don't even think he's stooped so low to be something in the government. I think from outside, we have to respect all Kenyans, but I don't think he would like to soil his legacy the way you are saying it with the Ruto administration. Yeah. So I still think that there's much more coming that will probably excite our Gen Zs.
Oh, we will be waiting to see. Okay, but for us, he cannot lie to us that easily. So we will know if he's genuinely just taking advantage, because he already let us down once, and we'll be waiting to see how he salvages himself, redeems. Sorry, rather. How he redeems himself. We'll be waiting to see.
He really does have to redeem himself. He is perfectly fine. He is perfectly fine. What people don't understand is that when you deal with the government, it's not a small little thing. This is a very complex system that if you're predictable, that is what you're going to do, then you trap yourself. Actually, a general who does not know how to fight is a terrible one. I mean, you just lead your people to be slaughtered. There are times that you use different tactics. So I think we know where he wants to lead us. I think we know where he wants to leave Kenya. And I don't think he's into compromise for the sake of compromising. And I think Baba does not enjoy or cannot sit when he sees injustice. All my life, knowing him, studying him. And let me tell you, we were in Washington, D.C. here, and there were a lot of Kenyans running into the room, and this woman was alifinywa, alikuwa anataka kuingia hapo. And Joe Baba refused even to go on with the meeting because he says we cannot treat a woman like that. He refused to continue on. He just went to sleep that time in the evening. And so we know the kind of person he is. And that is good because we know the intention that this man has. Of course, as a human being, he can make mistakes. And I don't know what he's thinking. But let's wait and see what consultation and other things, because we are talking about the government. The government is bigger than Ruto. It's bigger than any of us. And the government will continue to function whether Ruto is there or not there. Okay? So it is something, and we are all part of the government. So when you tell somebody you can't do this, you can't do that, let's also be careful to understand that even some of us, some of your relatives and my relatives are working for the government. Do they have to quit because they are in the government of Ruto, or this is a Kenya government that Ruto happened to be there, but we need to get rid of him? Because sometimes we have to really, really define what we mean, or else we politicize everything and we end up losing big time. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lala. So Ellie is back. Ellie.
Hi, Ellie. I think it's
Ellie. Is it really there? Ellie.
Maybe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the show, Hi, Ellie.
Thank you. For me, it's musical chairs. We are discussing same things every day for the next 5-10 years. We've been doing this for 10 years, 20 years. We're not changing the discussion, but that's why for me, I try to look for what are the solutions, practical things that we can do. And I've been pointing out in different forums that we should try and see how, for example, the powerful heads of trade unions who are, the trade unions were captured long time ago, long ago. I mean, they were captured by Moi, to the lesser extent Kibaki, but definitely Uhuru, and then now Mr. Ruto. And if we don't have a strong trade union, not just a dog, but a dog that bites, then we're just wasting time. Because I've said here before and in different forums that if you have a trade union that can say to the workers, down your tools for 1 day, for 2 days, for a week, and then this guy who goes around thinking that he's the president of Kenya will start panicking about his legitimacy, okay? And so I think that we need to direct our strengths and ways of speaking about what is affecting the country by, demanding that people start mobilizing, either joining the trade unions, but finding fault with the trade unions and removing those people. It's not just Kotu, but Kotu is the biggest problem, right? We know that Mr. Atwoli has until 2026 next year to to step down as a Secretary General. I saw a flip chart which was shared in a forum that shows how much and through which sources that Mr. Atwoli earns his money every month. And it was ridiculous. It was even more than Ruto and anybody else that may think that they run the country. I think the sum was something approaching 10 million per month. And even the trade union officials of Kotu, way back, I would say in the early or mid days of Moi, they were not living this kind of sumptuous life that Mr. Atwoli has. And so my call is that if the trade unions are weak, then the general population is very, very weak. And so we have to look for ways to dismantle what is going on. And one of the direct approaches is to, encourage people. Even the unions that run universities and that represent university lecturers, teachers, and so on, they're very weak. You hear them protesting. 2-3 days later, the government has managed to capture them. And in Kenya what that means, and then it's a forgone story. So this is a very big problem, and which needs to be resolved. And one of the ways we can do that is to compare with what other countries are doing, whether it's in developed countries or in countries that are still struggling but developing. The other thing that I wanted to point out was how, for example, our history can be used, substantively to improve our society, to make Kenya progress even better. So I find that one of the things that we are very weak at, in comparison to other developed countries, is that we're not curating the history of our country. If we are serious and we curate the things that have happened in different ways, we can, I think, save the country. So, for example, when we had conflicts and the conflicts were supposed to be managed by a truth and reconciliation commission, and that just subsided. The reports were weak, but those kind of things should have been taken very, very seriously. In terms of history, right? And I'm talking about any history, right? We have to now start thinking seriously how we can say this president or this leader or this governor did X, Y, Z. We can even have statues of celebrated people and also of the worst people that have, made, terrible mistakes in Kenya. Because that's, history, you can't run away from history. And I think one of the problems that we have is that we're not taking our history very seriously. We move very, very fast as Kenyans. I will not want to say that we forget, but it seems that we move very fast, and then we're ready to receive the next breaking news, the next topic. And I think this kind of culture changes will help us to kind of divert ourselves from what is happening constantly, every day. And it doesn't matter whether it's mainstream media or the new media like this, but you find that we are discussing what this politician did. Now we're discussing about, oh, Raila, okay, what's he going to do? CG, what? I don't care about what Raila and Ruto are doing. What I want to know is at the devolved level of our country, what is really happening? Because we have forgotten about devolution, and this is where the nightmare is happening more than at the top. Okay, right, there are serious issues affecting us, international affairs and so on, fine. But if you break it down, bread and butter issues, it's people being affected at the devolved level, our counties. Now, while I was thinking about how to respond or how to contribute my submission today, I heard our friend Lala making a very, very unusual comment. And I would like to say to Lala that I am not in any way offending his remarks, but I would like him to explain to us why is it that sometimes, Lala, you drop big names here on the platform and you don't let us, probe you into those comments that you make. I mean, this is a channel that people watch, and it's many people, and when you say such things, they will believe you. And I admire you because of your vocation as a man of faith. Even if I am a pagan, not a pagan, I'm not even an agnostic, but I'm definitely not a person of faith. I don't follow any faith groups. But I admire the work that you do, and any other person who professes their faith. But Lala, tonight you did say, and please don't be offended by this, you said that you met or had conversations with the chief of the general staff of the United States. That's like meeting Obama or or Trump. I mean, like, Lala, where do you get these things from? Because if you actually met these people, I'm interested because I collect history and research things and I record and I write about them. So if you say in this forum that you met the now, the guy who was sacked by Donald Trump the other day, you met him and discussed what? For what? I would really, really want to know because you're not, number one, I'm not saying you're a little person or whatever, but this is something big to meet the person who heads the US military. And you're a Kenyan who lives in the United States. You must really have some very, very big privilege in order to meet such a person. That guy is more powerful than Ruto, I don't know, 100 and something times, maybe 1,000 times. The US is supposed to be the mighty military force of the world. And you just met the person who heads that military. I would really want you to tell us these things because every time I hear you dropping names, I scratch my head because I would like to use this as a substantive statement that you've made. I don't want to doubt you. So please, through the chair, I would like Lala to explain without feeling embarrassed. I was not aiming at him, but I found that comment was quite powerful. And I want to know if it was in what context he met or he found him, or what did they discuss. If it's high secret security things, please don't tell us, just keep it to yourself. Thank you.
Is that okay to talk, Douglas?
Yes.
Thanks, Eli. Eli, yes, I mentioned that that I know the person, the man. First of all, when I do some work for the U.S. military, and he was my commander in Okinawa, Japan, and we were together in Kadena. That's the largest Air Force base in the Pacific. Actually, basically the world. It used to be the headquarters for the Japanese Supreme Command, and the US took it after the Second World War, and that's the place where he was in charge of that place. He was not that time the chief of staff. He became the chief of staff, and when he became the chief of staff, I reached out to him because of that past knowledge. So it's nothing like in that kind of circle now talking about it, but I'm not secret to most of us here that I think Eli probably know that I do some work with the military. Okay, that's all. That does answer you, and I think most people know that. Yeah.
I just wanted to thank you for that.
And of course, Eli, you can always talk to me on the side. We can discuss this and talk about it. Yes. Yeah. And so
I think that's better because
the list of people I met many people because and just let me disclose this that I'm not an active duty person, but I'm a contractor with the Defense Department. Okay. So I do that kind of work. I'm not a CIA agent. I'm just somebody who is a professional that provides psychological services to the men and women in uniform in the US. That's what I do. I have a business. You can check it on my profile there that I consult for all these organizations. Okay. So I meet a lot of interesting people, including presidents sometimes. So thank you.
Thank you, Lala. We are privileged people, and that's why I said these are not comments to offend you, but I'm not even doubting the authenticity, but it's the remarks that I wanted to know how far you spoke with this person, and because that's a coup in itself to actually, to get such 2 seconds to actually get even a journalist, just a mere journalist, or even a high-profile journalist will be looking to get contacts and get an interview with such a person. Like this would take months and months before they even get there. So that's why I asked you that question, and I'm not doubting your capacity that you worked in the U.S. Army and all that. That's fine, and also I do appreciate that what can happen in the U.S. or in Western Europe in many times cannot happen in Kenya. For example, you see people standing outside the parliament buildings in Kenya every single day. They're trying to meet a mere MP, and they will never see that MP. Whereas in the US or in most European countries, you can just meet your MP anywhere. So I do appreciate, I know that there is a possibility that you met him or you discussed with him or you worked with him. That's no problem. It was just when the issue I had there was in terms of security and actually what was it? I mean, like what did you discuss with this man? Because basically, this type of person, just 2 seconds. Even in Kenya, you can never just meet the chief of general staff. You will probably meet some kind of military officer at some level, not even a brigadier, if you wanted to fish out some information. So I'll leave it there, but thanks for the information that you gave us. Thank you.
Thank you, Eli. I'm glad you're raising that issue. Part of the reason why I'm on this particular channel is the fact that I've had some privileges that I think can be helpful. And I've said that before in this channel quite a bit, that can help. I mentioned to you that the general who died, Kayseri would call me in my home where I live, okay, we talk about some important things that when he was the, I think, Interior Secretary. And so my role has been to see what ways we can help, our nation so that we don't do some of these things, continue to be trapped in certain areas when actually we could actually do much more. And we always talk in the name of secret, sirikali, when actually these are things that should be open to all of us to pursue. I have a security clearance. I have to, be satisfied every 5 years. So I get into some important information, that go to certain places. So these are things that are required of any of us that are working in that particular system. But it doesn't stop me from talking, So this idea about the Kenyans, the way we do things, is what bothers me. When actually there are things that can be much clearer and we can be able to do them and we can actually move forward as a nation. So I'm here to be able to let our people know that there are things that we can do or we need to know instead of keeping them in some kind of secret. Talking, for example, let's say you mentioned issue about talking, okay? Talking to important people. I've talked to secretaries which are cabinet secretary, whether it is, you talk and they want to know what you think about in terms of your profession. And that's something easy. But in Kenya, it's impossible to talk to some of these people. But yeah, we can talk. And so I'm glad you raised that issue. And so part of the reason why I'm here is for us to discuss and talk about some of these things, to help our nation. Thank you.
Okay. Eli, were you done?
Yes, thanks.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you
thanks.
Grilling Lala?
I'm not grilling Lala. No, I'm not grilling it because he has the power to say what he wants to say, and I believe that in his speech there is speaking the truth. I don't want to doubt him. There's no reason for me to doubt him. It's just what my question was. I find it absolutely difficult for a person of his or any other person's level to get to to get in contact with the most senior military officer in the United States of America. It's a very, very, I mean, like you're talking about, you want to meet Donald Trump. That's the second most senior person in the US, the person who heads the military. So, wacha nikwambie story moja hapa. Sasa, hapa hivi 2007, December, 12th of December 2007. So, hao watu wa Buckingham Palace walituma sijui ati hao Afrika ambao wanaishi huku wanaishi. So the 4 nations of the UK, Wales, England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. So there was a big Commonwealth meeting and luncheon that was, to take place at Buckingham Palace in London. And as you know, at the time, 2007, it was still Queen Elizabeth who was the head of state of the United Kingdom. So for the Commonwealth meeting at Buckingham Palace, they wanted to invite some everyday people, the Tom, Dick, and Harrys, and who are of African descent or Asian, all those people who are affected by the British colonization, and now those countries that are in the Commonwealth. Because what the Buckingham Palace do is that every year of the Commonwealth heads of state meeting, they first meet at Buckingham Palace at some lunch, and then that thing happens I think the last one in Africa was in Kampala for a couple of days. So mimi nikatumiwa barua kwa serikali ya hapa ati one of the 4 Africans, and in fact there was an Indian female professor in astrophysics who was also invited. So the 4 of us who were here, and I remember meeting some other Kenyans there at Buckingham Palace. But in terms of security, this is what my point is this. In terms of security, first I received a telephone call. I don't know how those people knew my number. At the time I was doing a research job at a university here. So I received the call and I was told, we heard you speaking on the radio the other day, blah, blah, blah. We would like you to keep this particular day free on your diary. Is that okay? And I asked them, who are you? Said, it's a government official. We will contact you. So They didn't say at Buckingham Palace. No. So I'm talking about security before I was even allowed to go there. Okay? These people sent me letters only twice to my work. And it took 2 months before I was security cleared. Okay? To be just an ordinary person amongst the many ordinary people and some important people who are going to be at that palace that particular day of 2007. So my point is, and I did meet many Kenyans and other East Africans on that occasion, and it was the worst food ever. Actually, you think that royal people at they have some fancy foods. Kulikuwa na crisps hapo sijui nini. Yani those guys they're so yani yani wako na ile nini. Unafikiria tu wako na zile luxurious sijui living sijui nini. Ni building kubwa kabisa lakini wanapatiana na chips sijui. I think that was just for the ordinary people. So met the very quick. I'll say this. So met the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh and all those people. Okay, and then you were given a place to sit with one of the royals. So each table there was a royal person. And I'm telling you, the security clearance was not a joke. That's why I was asking Lala that question, because the security clearance is not a joke. For these wazungus anyway, sijui kama yetu ni hivi, lakini
you're
that's
correct.
why I asked. Yeah,
Really, you're right. Security is an issue. For example, for me, I'm an American citizen and Kenyan, so that's part of the reason why I can do what I do. Okay, and every 5 years I go through the same. In other words, even before I can access any of these facilities, I gotta go through that security clearance. In fact, one time my security clearance disappeared. Ran out when I was in Kenya. So I had to go to the embassy. The embassy gave it for me to get, certain information for me. They took my fingerprint, everything else in there, just for a renewal. So security is key to everything. Yeah. And interesting enough, even there are some people people who are close to Trump's administration who can't even get security clearance, including some of his family that I think have got better security than them. Because I'm fine. Yeah. So back to you.
Okay, so back to the chair. Okay, we'll move on from that. So yeah, so I was intensely talking about this thing about trade unions because I really want us to, especially those of you who have the power or the close proximity to people who are involved as representatives or organizers, small or big, in trade unions. Honestly. Speak with them. The politicians have failed completely. Lakini ukipata mtu wa trade union saizi ambaye anaweza kusema twende kotini tuseme hii kitu ambacho kinatusumbua saizi hatutaki, ili jambo inatuumiza kwa kazi na vile tunaona tunaenda strike. The thing becomes local, regional, national. Honestly, in Zambia, it is the trade union leader who unseated Kenneth Kaunda. Okay? But of course, unfortunately, Chiluba, the President Chiluba, who was a trade unionist, also became a very corrupt figure, years ahead. But that's not the issue I'm trying to discuss. What I'm saying is that, Kaunda's dictatorship ended finally because of the trade union movement. Trade union hata kina Raila hawawezi. Acha nikwambie. Hata Raila Odinga Hawa watu wote sijui vigogo wa sijui this or that party hawawezi, kama tukiwa na organizers ambao wako na nguvu, hawawezi. Mi nakwambia ukweli. Sasa sijui tuko na, sasa kusema tuko na ujinga kwa hiyo issue ya trade union, lakini ni kama Wakenya kwanza wanaogopa kujoin. Sijui you'll be seen as a socialist, sijui you are attacking your employer, you can't bite the hand that feeds you and things like that. I don't really know where this problem lies. But what I know is that if we give it a try, we start talking about it, we start spreading the word online, on any platform, or even on conversations with our people, those who are there back home or in different diasporas. Honestly, this is a big option that we can use to tell these politicians, it doesn't matter if they're UDA or ODM and all the rest, that enough is enough. And we want a different style of government. Enough is enough. And I will keep singing about trade unions every single day. People get tired of it, because you tell me, which country have you seen that a trade union, the most high profile trade union official, because of the population of the workers that he represents, which is the highest number of Kotu. I think it's like 20 something or near 30 million people under Atwoli. Okay, and this man is the richest, like in terms of public service. In terms of public service, he's the richest person, earning the highest. He's earning higher than a president of the country. There's no, honestly, I can't think of any other African country like this. In fact, I can't even think of European countries that pay their trade union secretary generals as much as Atwoli is paid. Plus, Atwoli has that role of international representation. So he's got that office as well. He gets paid there as well. Sunona. So easy at the Sitaki Waluya, it's not just that tribal thing. I was speaking about this thing in some channel and people wakasema, mtu akaniambia tu wewe sasa wewe uko na shida na watu wa Western. And I said, look, the Western people, they're just suffering the same way other parts of the country. In fact, these trade unions actually is just a microcosm of the problem, because they appear to be working in the same fashion, the same model of thinking as Atwoli. Haya, tumalizane na trade unions. Sasa another captured thing, na wacheni leo tu nimewachana na theories kidogo, nimekuja practical. Sasa unaona NGOs, non-governmental organizations used to be very, very powerful. They used to have an impact in any current issues affecting Kenya. In fact, the NGOs are the ones that pushed for the change of the constitution more than the politicians did in the early 90s. The NGOs were captured, and we need these NGOs to get back to order and start doing what they used to do. Now, the problem of the NGOs is quite difficult, because NGOs are surviving and they rely on government. They rely on donations from international organizations that don't want to prick the status quo. So the NGOs, it's a difficult issue, but there are some NGOs that are brave, like the one run by Nerima. I think she runs a thing called Siasa Place, and she's quite vocal, that young lady. And in fact, she doesn't even classify herself as a leader of an NGO organization. You tell me, any NGO that literally, theoretically, still continues to call their team leader CEO or executive director, those NGOs should fold up and review what their mission statement is. They need to think twice what they're there for, because NGO is not a company. An executive director, at the CEO. Most organizations now around the world have a team leader, and that's the way they're going. And that team leader is just, there's a team, he or she is just the first among equals. And I think that's another thing. It sounds theoretical, but the NGOs need to refashion themselves so that Kenya can have what powerful NGOs they used to have back in the day. NGOs have failed Kenya completely. Guys, I'm not reading a script. I'm speaking from my mind. NGOs have failed Kenya, right? My last short is going to be mi naweza kuongea hapa mpaka kesho. Sasa kuna hii kitu inaitwa media. Those guys, they're like untouchable. This mainstream media. These people will decide which way the country goes. You look at the newspapers every morning or even on the internet. Yani, they're telling you how to think. They are actually telling you, this is the way I would like you to think. And then we believe their story. Now, see this media, most of them sasa, unaona wanalipwa na serikali na and lobbyists as well. So hawa watu wanafanya adverts za sijui recruitment, sijui nini, the government jobs and things like that. You know, people like Daily Nation, Standard, all that, all those adverts, those are things that government has been doing for generations, and the media companies don't want to flout that relationship. It's a business, so we can understand them. But these guys don't have a moral perspective about, if this is what is happening to Kenyans, how can we spin this story? You tell me, which media company, mainstream or otherwise, has asked this single most important question? Is there going to be a commission of inquiry or a way we can find out who shot those young people outside Parliament and inside Parliament? What were MPs actually doing when this was happening? Because there are stories that some MPs were actually part of this crisis in Parliament, wanting these young people to get shot. And in fact, some of them ready to use their guns. Which media organization has decided, let us do this, let us ask these questions, and let us see where this is going? Nothing. We know that Mr. Ruto has interests and runs a company, a media company, a very powerful one. We know that Uhuru Kenyatta's family runs the thing called K24. They actually founded it and they still have it as the principal shareholders. We know that the Aga Khan family still runs the Nation Media Group, and this family is attached to Kenyan politics. So we have that problem, whether media is captured or not, but we still have that historical problem of connection between politics and the media in Kenya. So then that gives us the chance as new media like this platform here to start now telling Kenyans the truth. If those people cannot ask those questions, and I was speaking to our friend Mutembei the other day, sitaki kusema sana, but he's in England, huyu Mutembei wetu. And I was telling him, Mutembei, are you with Ruto or not? The man didn't want to talk. He's very soft-spoken. Hapo kwa text, una text, namwambia, wewe sasa, hii kitu, media should be used, the new media should be using itself properly to say things that the mainstream media do not want to say. Because what's the point of having such platforms, but we are afraid to say things that the mainstream does not want to say? Many countries are now relying on online broadcasting like this. Kusema ukweli, mimi wacha nikwambie, ukiniona ati natazama TV at sijui BBC, sijui CNN, it's like maybe twice a month. Rare. I come to this platform, I go to around 2 or 3 others, then I decide for myself whether people were being disjointed there or the information was resourceful or not. So thanks, people. I just wanted to add those things. I'm sorry for taking your time talking too much, but those are the kind of things that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you. You can fire your question or disagree. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Eli, for that contribution. Okay, so now I want us to move to everything else, to something else before we come back to close. That has been a lengthy discussion. I just want us, for a last part of this, I want us to take a look at what is happening at the Supreme Court. Just want your insights, Lala, Eli, Shadizo. Though Shadizo wants to step out, but when we come back, he will, just weigh in. So let's just listen to what Gachagua had to say, and then we can, when we can have that discussion.
Asante, let's get right to it. And of course, we'll start with the very recent developments. You were recently in Meru. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, you launched fresh accusations against President William Ruto, alleging that he's orchestrating a plan to remove Chief Justice Martha Koome from office. Can you substantiate these claims? The claims that the purge in the Supreme Court, in the judiciary, is politically motivated?
Yes, it is. I was Deputy President and Principal Assistant to President William Ruto, and I'm privy to many things. I also have a responsibility as a leader in this country to let the people of Kenya know what is happening. President William Ruto schemed a long time ago to remove Justice Martha Koome as Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court because of refusing to be compromised.
And he shared this with you?
He shared with me, and many times he even quarreled me that a daughter from the mountain is being problematic and accused me of being unable to manage Martha Koome to do things the way the president wants. And I told him it's not possible. I had many discussions with Martha Koome, and she's a stickler to the rule of law and constitutionalism. She's a very respectable judge, very qualified, and she got that job through merit. And I was against it. And I think the matter was put on hold until I was hounded out of office. And the matter now has been put in top gear, not just to remove Martha Koome as a Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, but to remove the entire bench of the Supreme Court. And I must tell the people of Kenya that we must be very careful, because the president warns and pronounced himself before me many times that as president, he needs to manage the electoral cycle from the IBC all the way to the Supreme Court. And many times he indicated his desire to have the entire bench replaced so that he can put in place a bench that will do what he wants. And that is very dangerous for the country, because if he puts a bench that he wants to manage the conflict, if any, after the elections, the people of Kenya will not accept it. And what is happening is very simple. The president has the numbers in the Judicial Service Commission. So any proceedings against Justice Martha Koome and the 7 judges and the other 6 judges will just be a kangaroo court. It will just be like what happened to me in the Senate and the National Assembly. It will be predetermined. The president will thereafter set up a tribunal himself, and he will determine the outcome. So what we are looking at, I'm not just defending Justice Martha Koome. It's the entire bench of the Supreme Court. These are judges of impeccable credentials. These are judges with a proven track record. These are judges who have made monumental decisions in accordance with the rule of law and the Constitution for the benefit of the Republic. And if the president has his way, bulldozes through the Judicial Service Commission, where he has the numbers, these judges will not get any justice. It will be a kangaroo type of thing. And then they'll give a recommendation to the president to set up a tribunal to try them. And the outcome is predetermined. So I need to ask the international community to keep a very close eye on this country, because if the president succeeds in putting his bench at the Supreme Court, he will have completed the state capture. Already as we speak, he has captured Parliament, both Senate and the National Assembly. He has captured the opposition. The only remaining line of defense for the people of Kenya is the judiciary. So if he succeeds, as he has planned, it means that the president has really captured the entire country, all the arms of government, and he'll do whatever he wants. And that level of impunity is dangerous for our democracy, our constitutionalism, and the rule of law. And we must speak out, and it should not be allowed to happen.
Okay, allow me to interject, because not too long ago, and some people may call you bluff.
Okay, that's a snippet from an interview that Gachagua had earlier this week, I guess on Sunday or yesterday, Monday. I'm not sure about that. Speaking about the issue that Martha Koome is facing, a month ago, his security, she claimed her security was withdrawn. So I don't know what is happening at the Supreme Court. I'll start with you, Shadizo, but before we do, I'd asked you earlier, do you think the ongoing ouster battle of Supreme Court judges will impact judicial independence? 54 votes so far, 63% say yes, that is 7% of you say no. So Shadizo, what's happening at the Supreme Court?
I can say that the Supreme Court has a lot, and there is a lot that's not being repeated yet. So let me begin by saying this: like the Supreme Court is like kind of losing the independence that it used to have, because as you know, since back then the Supreme Court has having the independent, whereby it is a free independent board whereby it runs itself. It doesn't depend for another independent to give the choices. But now you see like it is being like it's ordered around. You see, seeing like they have boss who bosses them around. The boss who is taking them like do this, don't do that, which is not right indeed. Because the Supreme Court have mostly acknowledged that it is an independent body. And according to the question that if they will continue like that, they will be affected so much. Not even a little bit. They will be affected in a bigger percentage, in a bigger quantity. Why do I say like that? They will be affected so much. This thing that they are creating now, everything has the repercussion. If they can be snagged the security, like for example, the Kome, who is the head of that body, is being snagged the security. What about the branches? What about the other people under him? That shows there are not good plans or they are not secure things over them. Meaning there's somebody who is over them. If it is the same board that is eliminating the leader, it doesn't have the problem. But it's the other people from outside eliminating the leader. But by the people who are being led by the leader, they're not communicating. They're not saying that there's an issue with our leader. It seems that there's somebody that else running out this body. Okay, we have the rights to claim for that. But the major part, or the bigger part, or the bigger percentage that's supposed to support it is the people who are inside the board. The entire board. So if the entire board is not working, it's not doing anything, they are losing their value. They're losing their tangibility. Whereby if they will not be careful, they'll be being controlled henceforth. They will not be able to stand out themselves. They will not be able to control themselves. They will not be able to control things. Because they have to say, if you are not able to run your house, how do you think that will be able to run the whole body? I think that is
How about the Ouster? Is it politically instigated? Is it a constitutional process? What do you think? People bring in Lala.
Right now, I can say like a lot of things that are not inside the constitution order, or they are not running due to the constitution. Many things are running because people don't want them to run like that, and which is so bad. What I plead is let us go back to the board and then make sure that everything runs according to the constitution. Let us not stop running everything the way we feel or the way we want. If we continue running things the way we feel or the way we want, we are losing up the touch of the nation. We are losing up the vibe of the nation. We are losing up the direction of the nation. Whereby tunaruhusu kila mtu kupiga sheria ama kufanya vile anataka, which is too bad. So it's high time I can ask that just continue the government, everything, let us run according to the nations or accordingly to the movement of the nation.
Okay, thank you, Shadizo. I think Elia stepped out. It's an internet connection error, technical error from his side. He's stepped, but I still have Lala. So Lala, over to you. What's really happening to our judicial system?
Thanks. I think it's awesome. I think is raising a question. What type of security clearance do I have? I think the second thing is I did not meet Secretary of State or Secretary of this, Secretary of that. And first of all, I know in Kenya we have a lot of low credibility, of ministers. Why would I come here to lie? Okay, so think about that. Secondly, my security clearance is probably very low, not too high at all. Third, I'm a regular person, very regular. Okay, and I think I stated that. Just happened that I have a profession that is needed by the Defense Department that allows me to go in any facilities of the US around the globe when I'm needed. Even now, if I'm needed, I will go. Okay. I'm not that special, so I'm very low. So in terms of being low, it just happened that you may be a sweeper, but you sweep for some important guy, and you might see them there. So you can't tell me that the fact that you're a watchman, you can't see somebody, come in there. So let's not go there. If there's something you have an issue with that I'm saying, let me know. But I disclose myself to you guys because of my interest in letting ourselves know that there's some within our midst here that may have some knowledge that may be helpful to all of us as we debate. So my role here is to be part of this debate. Okay, I could be somewhere else, but I commit myself to this because I love my nation. I love my country called Kenya. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to because I'm getting something or I'm spying on somebody or I'm doing something. No, I'm here because I love my nation. So I think the question you raised, Douglas, I think anytime you interfere with the judiciary, you impact everything, either for good or for bad. Sometimes it's for good because people become aware of what they should or they should do or should not participate in. So then that's good sometimes. On the other hand, it may be an interference because somebody is trying to accomplish something. So they would create a situation like this one so that things go bad. So in terms of interference, yes, it does interfere with. So how it's going to go, that's what we don't know. Which forces are going to win, that's what I don't know. So I may not be able to answer that question so well, but in terms of interfering, yes, it does. Back to you, Douglas.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lala. Okay. Personally, still trying to make sense of what is really happening. Because as I said earlier in the show, there's some quarters who believe that, the Constitution provides for the ouster of either the Chief Justice or the other judges of that bench, and there's a constitutional process that has been laid out for that to happen. And so some who are arguing that that petition has not been put forth by any politician. It has been put forth by Nelson Harvey, who is a lawyer and former LSK president, and so they're arguing it that way. But deep down we know that these things are politically motivated. We know it's out of mischief and it's malicious. So I don't know how that will play out, but I'm just hoping that judges will stand together on this one. Just protect the independence of the judiciary. But that's just my opinion. And at this point, I think it's a good place to end it. And you have something?
I just want to say that I need to go, and just let all of you know that.
Yeah, we're actually closing, huh?
Yes, that I think whom we know we talk to is immaterial, and awesome. Maybe you won't believe me in this, but I've had lunches and dinners with presidents, 2 presidents of the United States. So that you know that if it's higher than what we thought about a secretary. So know that. And if you want to know more on the side, you can email me and I can show you some things if you want to see that. Thank you. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're leaving. I want to take your closing remarks. Yours, Shadizos. We're actually closing. So who should I begin with? Okay, we Africans, so let's begin with the juniors. So I'll start with you, Shadizo.
I don't have much to say, but what I say is Kenyans have to stand up and leave our nation the way we want. Tutachagua Kenya ni moja. Do what we feel is the best and what's the best for our nation. stop arguing, competing with person. And if you know you are wrong, stop arguing with the person that's right, thinking that he justify you.
Okay, thank you, Shadizo. Lala.
Oh, yes. I thank you all. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Tadizo, and thank you all of you in the background. I just want to emphasize that all of us can do something tangible. In other words, if we avail ourselves to be used truthfully, God can use any of us. I think the issue about whom I know has featured a lot. But let me say this, that I think the best knowledge is the knowledge of God. If God knows you, I think we're in a better place. But in terms of the access that one can have, especially in the Western world, is amazing, especially somebody like me, the role that I play. And I believe that as we open the space in Kenya for all of us to participate in every area of our economy, of our social life, or our political life, I think you'll find it's much easier to begin to interact with other people. That's how you learn, that's how you know. We are all the same. There's nothing special about me or you. We are all the same. And that's why even this forum, all of us are important. That's why your voice is important. My voice is important. Our voice collectively are important. But I think even discussing when I disclose some of this information shows where we are as a nation, where we are trapped in certain claves. We can't move out of those places because of the system that has created those little pockets. I pray that those traps can be removed so that we can achieve, we can grow, we can raise the standard for our nation and become a nation that we are all proud of. So thank you, and I'm happy for all the questions and the comments and the contribution. I think this is part of the process of trying to expand the space that allow all of us to be part of this big thing called Kenya, that we can be able to expand it and make it a model for the rest of Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lala. And Shadizo, and everyone else who has been here. You said the studio had Mama Selina, also had Eli. Who else was there? Yes, and all those of you who've been engaging me in the comments section, Tuni Muhammad, Awesome, Finish Kumalo TV, Promise Baraka, Big J, Penya Daka, all of you guys in the comment section, Dumet B, hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And those of you who've been following the show, the silent listeners / watchers, thank you for making this show a reality. We are because you are. The poll question: 56 votes at the end of the show. Do you think the ongoing Ouster battle of Supreme Court judges will impact judicial independence? 62% say yes, 38% voted no. So with that, we've come to the end of the show. Will not add anything. I'll just leave you with Shadizo's and Lala's thoughts at the close of the show. So good night and good morning for those of you who've already on the 26th of February, like we are here in Nairobi. It's 3:57 a.m. See you same time, same place. Good night.